Welcome back to Sebring International Raceway in Florida. We're here for day 2 of weekend number 2 Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. My name's Andrew Coley. This is Tony Villander.
Andrew, have a seat. You look tired from yesterday.
Mate, yesterday was action-packed. I imagine some of the drivers are going to be feeling pretty tired and maybe a bit beaten up.
And maybe a little bit more respect for the track of Sebring.
It was bumpy. It is bumpy. It's an old classic circuit. It's so different from thermal. What will they have learned from yesterday? Are they going to wind it back a bit, do you think?
Yeah, we had drivers on track that had limited track time because of the weather we had this week. So I think they have more respect for the track, and maybe you just need to take it a little bit easier because turn 1, turn 17, those are the places where the track is the most bumpiest and it's very difficult to control your race car.
There's not a lot of runoff area anywhere here. Everyone is keen to be on the top step of the podium. Let's go for day 2. Welcome back to Sebring International Raceway. We're getting ourselves ready for the second races of our double-header weekend. Weekend number 2 of Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. Look at that, what a backdrop. That is the hotel which is named 7 after the legendary corner number 7. It's one of the best overtaking opportunities on the track, but we didn't see many people making use of it yesterday. There's the exit to turn 7, and here's where we started the season. Thermal over close to LA, around 2 hours in from the coast. On the west coast now, we're about an hour in from the coast. On the east coast, Sebring International Raceway in Florida. Circuit of the Americas up next. Austin, Texas. What a great city, what a great track. Laguna Seca and Sonoma in California. Then Road America and the Finale Mondiale in Spain at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. There we go. What a year we are having. What a year we are in for. And this is Sebring. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me, Tony Villander. Tony, look at this track. What a classic. What a challenge.
Yeah, this track has everything. A lot of challenges with a very rough ride around the track. Legendary corners, you mentioned already, turn 7, which is the hairpin close to the hotel, but turn 1 and turn 17, those are high-speed corners. You need to roll in a lot of speed, and they'll still trust that the grip is there and you can really hammer that throttle down as soon as the car has a little bit of rotation. Overall, we had a pretty good day yesterday.
Yeah.
We were predicting that there might be a little bit more issues, more full course yellow, a lot of things happening, but in the end was quite smooth. Actually, Coppa Shell category behaved really well. In Pirelli Am, we had a little bit more action, maybe even some penalties added to the race time or actually for today's grid. So Coppa Shell looking strong. Very interesting driver, Andrew Parker, on pole position. And also then in Coppa Shell Am, there is Fabian Sperman, who almost improved his lap time over a second from yesterday's qualifying, and he's starting on pole in Am.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic afternoon. We've got the Shell race, then the Pirelli race after that. Interesting that the pole sitters, obviously they sit within their own category, but sometimes their lap times are significantly faster than the category above. Now, yesterday we didn't close that gap. The safety cars will split the pack between the Pro and the Am, if you want to call the top cars Pro. So they put a big gap in between them. But yesterday we did have a full course yellow in each of the categories, and that really bunches them up, and that can cause you problems then if you catch up with some of the slower drivers. What was that on the right? Did you see there, Tony?
Yeah, some of the cars were not ready lined up for the warm-up lap or for the grid lap, but I don't think it's a big of an issue. As soon as the grid here clears from the fast lane, then other cars, including carryout, will join the fast lane, and then we start with the race procedures.
Looking forward to it down in pit lane with all those wonderful Ferrari Challenge 296 cars. It's the equally wonderful Nina Jade Paul.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. You're way too kind. Well, day 2 here at Sebring, and it's an opportunity for our drivers to either cement their performance yesterday or maybe fight their way back into contention. We saw yesterday just how tough this circuit can be. The notorious bumps on track. I mean, the track surface, tyre life came into play as well. Overtaking isn't necessarily easy. So today is all about execution. Last chance. I know it's still early to be talking about the championship, but after this afternoon is finished, we will be 2 race weekends down in the North American calendar, and the championship points will really start to take shape. So critical points on the line today.
Thank you, Nina Jade. Absolutely right. Consistency at this point in the season is super important. Hazard lights on there for one of the cars heading out on the rollout lap, so maybe they've hit a little issue as they go out to check the car out. You're looking at John Lennon there with the door on this side replaced. I should say Atari Hotels. Let me fill in the gap for you. He has Atari is a gaming brand. The logo is kind of across the front, the hood of the car. And yeah, that's his business. Most of these guys, successful business owners, a lot of them also very successful racing drivers now, some of them wanting to progress to become professional racing drivers. We've got some youngsters as well, particularly in the Pirelli category. Who is that? Can't read the car number on it. But yeah, in the Pirelli category, the likes of Johnny Kaminsky, who's only 17 years old. I called him 18 earlier. What a terrible insult. And they, the chances are they want to climb the ladder and get into a works Ferrari at some point, Tony.
Yeah, we have drivers with different background and also with different expectations for the future regarding their racing career. Ferrari Challenge, beautiful platform to improve your skills, and also at the younger age maybe target the endurance racing, maybe even the Ferrari 499P, which is the top of our endurance sport. Challenge car itself gives you good tools.
Yeah, 135, is it? 135?
Yeah, Challenge car gives you great tools to improve the basics. You have more than 700 horsepower. You have GT3 style Pirelli tires on it. Also some aerodynamics which are very close to GT3 car. So the gap has narrowed with the 296 model regarding the actual GT3 car. So very, very good championship, good series to have success, but also improve your skills. And then, of course, we have the Finale Mondiale, which is the world finals where all challenge drivers across all the continents are then reunited together.
Can't wait for that at the end of the year. A little way to go before that. You might recognise those blue wheels. I was just about to say I reckon he's borrowed his rims from Lewis Flory. It is Lewis Flory. So Lewis Flory will have to recognise by his blue rims. He had an off at turn 13. We didn't get the chance. We tried to find him at lunchtime but couldn't find him. And so we don't know what happened with the car, but he ended up quite heavily in the wall, so that he's got a T on the side of the car, which effectively means a test car, if you like. It's the second chassis. It was Kenneth Sweder on a go slow on the outlap in his yellow Ferrari 296 Challenge car. Melissa Kozira left the pits late as well, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. She could just have been strapping in later than the others, which isn't a bad decision to make on a hot and sunny day. Here is Melissa now. She's out on track.
Yeah, normally you have let's say the pit lane opening time, and you just need to leave the pit lane for the grid lap before that closes, so I don't think there's any major drama.
No.
And after that the cars line up in actual order.
I think it's a sensible decision. Why do you want to go around in traffic, with everyone getting in your way? That's Kenneth Sweder again. Yeah, you get to do your own warm-up lap. You get to warm the brakes and the tyres the way you want. She knows she's up at the front of the grid again. She'll want to beat Sperman. He did a very good lap time this morning.
Yeah, I mean, at these temperatures, there's not a massive difference. 1 minute less, 1 minute more. Important thing is everything is in the right place, and then she's ready for the race start.
And there's Jamie Garrett also heading back into pit lane, so she'll be ready as well. So while the drivers get themselves set to head out and do battle on this fantastic track, let's take a look at the features of Sebring International Raceway. We had a ride along with Brian Cook, one of our Trofeo Pirelli drivers, earlier on in the week when the track was still a bit wet and damp and tricky, and this is a great fun lap. So have a look around here at this classic track.
Hi, I'm Brian Cook, driver of the number 3 296 Ferrari Challenge car for Ferrari of Seattle. I'm going to take you around Sebring in the wet to make it really interesting. Well, welcome to sunny Florida. Here we are on a wet lap of Sebring. Sebring is super bumpy, so you have to have your dentist on the speed dial if you're going to go around this place properly. So first turn, very fast, a lot of commitment, fourth gear. We're heading down to turn 3, braking super hard and trying to find grip here. We're on a track that's half dry, half wet, so it makes it super interesting. Sniffing out grip here, lots of different patches on the road through Sebring, so you've got to be really careful where you place the car. Placement is everything. Okay, around the big bend, flat out like a lizard drinking, as my Australian friends would say. So we go past the hotel, wave to the family, big braking zone. We're in the middle of the track because it's wet. Down to third, second gear if we can do it, and get turned around. Lots of bumps, lots of fun. Coming around Fangio Bend, there's puddles here that send the car wide, so you've got to be really careful and precise in the wet so you don't do something silly and say hi to a wall. Coming up to turn 10, Cunningham. We're braking in the middle of the track here once more because it's wet. This is a really interesting turn. You've got to get far right and get the car turned around so you can get on the gas early through this next section. This is Collier, very tricky, super tricky in the wet, trying to find grip, trying to find a place to get the car straight so we can get on the gas. Nice and tight, Tower Bend. This is a fun turn and looking forward to being able to do this in the dry eventually. So we're heading down to the place that lots of people freak out about. This is Bishop, even more interesting in the rain. Big confidence, almost flat in the dry, and we brake in the middle of the track here wet to keep it off the rubber and make the grip better. Left, right, hustle through here, and then onto the back straight, which is where there's a ton of time to be lost or made in this corner. Long back straight here. We can order some food, dial in, dial my mum, say hi, do lots of stuff down this back straight, check everything, and make sure everything's cool, because the next turn is really a hard braking zone that you have to carry lots of speed, and it's key to a really good lap time here. So down to 6th, 4th gear coming around here in the wet, we touch third sometimes, trying to keep it on the inside and away from the bumps that, you know, with your teeth busy nattering away and down on the front straight. And that's a lap of Sebring.
Great stuff from Brian Cook. Really good indicator, I think, of how to get around here. Obviously offline a few times because of the puddles, Tony, but he explained that beautifully. He did a really good job with that.
But still a lot of details regarding even dry running. Very special track regarding what it requires. It's not straightforward, braking straight all the way from left, then close the apex on right, and then use the track in the exit again. There is areas where the grip is, you need to look for it, and same things like on dry and on wet. You need to change that driving style, change that racing line to get the maximum performance. And we've been really fortunate that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weather is just perfect. I do like driving in rain, but maybe not in Sebring.
Yeah, I think it's hard enough here. It's one of those places you like, really? This is hard enough.
Sebring and rain, no.
Yeah, no thanks. There was a Yoda ice cream on the side of Andrew Parker's car, which I haven't seen before, and also a pug-shaped ice cream.
Yeah, and
there's Chuck Whittle.
Yeah, and that ice cream.
He's not an ice cream, just if you're wondering. Chuck Whittle is not an ice cream.
Ice cream livery on Parker's car is really working. So yesterday he was the fastest, in my opinion, the fastest car in the race, and then today's pole position, his first ever, was really, really impressive.
He actually got the fastest lap yesterday, yes, so you bang on with P2, and to get the pole, he's really pleased. It'll be interesting to see if he can convert it. We've seen Gary Ott have pole a few times, and has always said, I want to get the job done, but the trouble is you have to get pole to learn how to defend it. So, the first few times, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. How hard do you go into turn one? Your tyres are not in the temperature they would be after 3 laps, maybe 1.5, because the warm-up lap is not flat out, and so you've got to judge the risk you want to take.
Yeah, Nina Jada had a really good note from yesterday. All our pole sitters won the race, but there was always fight for the lead, even the winning car lost the lead, gained it back, so there was an actual fight for it. But what was interesting still, the importance of qualifying. Is fierce competition, but qualifying sets already a good starting point. When you're starting from pole, you have all the tools in your hand.
All right, well, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Let's head down to Nina Jade Paul at the very front of pit road.
Let's absolutely get this show on the road. We are all raring to get going, so without further ado, drivers, start your Ferrari engines.
And right on command, here we go. It was Orsini that we went past. We had a little bit of a technical issue yesterday. Just a little run down the grid. You saw Gary Ott. This is Roy Carroll.
Yeah, this is the second best thing when you get to give high five to your team and start the engine. The best thing obviously is the lunch at Casa Ferrari, but also the race start is very good. Drivers are nervous at this point, looking forward to different scenarios, what the actual acceleration point gives. Is some of the drivers going to make some mistakes? Do they have the wrong gear? I could hear drivers hesitating coming out of 17 yesterday. Which gear they are ready to accelerate?
Yeah.
If the gear is too short, then you just don't get enough push,
momentum,
and you need to go up with the gears at the crucial moment. So those are the tactics. Do you run a little bit of brake pedal? So you squeeze the brakes and have a throttle and then just release the brake, or how do you approach the start? So there's a lot of difference between drivers and also the actual reaction time. It's very important.
And then it's how much you want to attack on that one. Are you confident in a car that's not quite up to temperature and you make hay, or do you overcook it and over guess the ability of what the car and you can do in those situations? So yeah, it is a very critical time in the race. We're getting our cars rolling out. Let's do this, shall we? Day 2, Ferrari Challenge North America, Sebring International Raceway. We are about to start Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell Am on day 2 here at Sebring International Raceway for Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. My name is Andrew Coley. Alongside me, Tony Verlander, Nina Jade Paul reporting from the pits. And we are going to take a look at the grid here for our full lineup. It is a packed lineup for Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell Am. On the front row, pole position, first time ever, Andrew Parker. Can he convert that? And next to him is Kevin Orsini. Row 2, Chuck Whittle and Blake Rosser. Blake Rosser was yesterday's winner. Michael Owens and Gary Ott on row 3. Ott's desperate to take another top step on the podium. Hasn't done so since his first ever race. Charlie Menard and Roy Carroll on row 4. Row 5, Lewis Flory, who crashed earlier on in qualifying today, and Fabian Sperman. Then we've got Melissa Kozira and Tim Dweet. Lance Corley and Jamie Garrett. Fantastic performance from Jamie in qualifying today. John Lennon and Steve Czech on row number 8. Row 9, Danny Patel and Jeffrey Nunberg. Row 10 is Darren Bernstein and Ed Vartugian. Row number 11, Henry Hummel and Luis Piuskia. Row 12, Bernard Gomez and Kenneth Sweder, who we saw going slowly on the outlap when we see him at the start of the race. And finally on row 13 is Joseph O'Neill. The pole sitter to remember for the AM category is Fabian Sperman with Melissa Kozira alongside. Kozira won yesterday and Sperman was P2 with the fastest lap. So all to play for. There at the back, that is Kenneth. So he has, no, that's not, that's Lewis Flory. So Lewis looks like he's starting from the back then. And he had a better time than that, I thought, in qualifying. Not sure. Okay, well, maybe it's because he's changed chassis, but either way, he may just be taking the start to then make sure he doesn't get a total lack of points as a DNS, a did not start. So perhaps he'll take the start and then duck out, or maybe we'll see him go racing. And he might well be on his own rims, of course, because you're only allowed one set of tyres for qualifying and racing, so it would make sense for him to borrow somebody's car and chuck his Pirelli race boot on it. Safety car coming around towards the end of the lap. And this is the AM category. Here's the pro category out at the front. Andrew Parker and Kevin Orsini on the front row. Chuck Whittle and Blake Rosser on row 2. Gary Ott on row 3 with Michael Owens. Here we go then. Parker, remember, has got to get them set off. So Orsini's got to wind it in a little bit on the inside line. The safety car will pull off to the right-hand side now. And then it's up to Parker to convert this first ever pole position to a decent result. He'll want to take the win, and now he goes on the gas. So Parker goes on the gas. The green light's on, the green flag is out. Left-hand side of your screen, Blake Ross has pulled out and is alongside Orsini already. Whittle along the other side of Orsini. Ross has to drop back in. Parker's going to get to turn 1 first. Behind him, Chuck Whittle. Brilliant job by him from row number 2 to get up into P2. Orsini drops down into 3rd place. Gary Ott over on the far left-hand side, I think, has lost a place here on the run down. Or close again on the run into turn 3. That is in the 103 is Michael Owens. Michael Owens making a good move as well. Onto the AM category. Melissa Kozira drops in behind the pole sitter Fabian Sperman. So the front row have got away with it and they get into turn one first of all. Tim Tweed behind them with the accent livery on the side of the car. Kozira looking for a way through. Melissa Kozira coming up the inside of Sperman. She hasn't hung about. She goes a little bit deep on the brakes. Lovely block pass. Judged it brilliantly. She is on fire this year and I could not be more impressed.
Yeah, very determined, overtaking, good run through turn one. And Melissa was able to challenge the pole sitter going into turn three, and very confident move from Melissa, now leading the race.
Absolutely brilliant. She's now, of course, wants to try and break away. She did it yesterday, Tony. Drove away from the field in race conditions. Did it again when the safety car came out. We know Sperman had a slightly quicker lap in qualifying, but I don't know. Kozira just looks so on top of the car. She'll try and get away, surely.
Yeah, and then at the Coppa Shell start, Orsini starting P2, but he had either a wrong gear like we were predicting before the start. Somebody on that front row was still indecisive, went up a gear, went down a gear, and he had a poor acceleration. At one point it looked also that Rosser is going to go through Orsini, and now Rosser actually lost the place to Owens. So Orsini struggling a bit at the start, and Whittle gaining one position.
Yeah, Chuck Whittle up into P2. And the minute Parker is getting away, be a lovely feeling for him being on pole and making a bit of a gap. Don't forget that we saw yesterday Blake Rosser got away, had what I would have regarded as quite a comfortable lead, and then later in the race they just started pulling back in. We don't know whether he'd cooked his tyres a bit too early, because yesterday I said there were 2 full course yellows which would have affected tyre life, but you need a big gap to be able to say it's comfortable. Orsini having a look at Whittle, comes tight through turn one.
Yeah, and Whittle has been struggling a bit in turn one the whole weekend, so it's very important to stay tight line, otherwise outside there's not enough grip and you feel that the car is loose all the time. Now Orsini is very close to Whittle's car and looking for maybe an overtaking opportunity going into the next corner, turn 7.
Let's have a look and see. So you're on board with Whittle. You can't really see the camera in the middle, but that tells him where the other car is. Is there anybody in his inside line? No, there isn't. So he holds on to the position. And in fact, someone hit something there. It's a wing mirror. Wing mirror, yeah.
Rosser
off both
and
cars.
Owens.
Wing mirror off both cars.
Yeah, Rosser and Owens.
So watch out for those two having a proper scrap in the background. Owens has a look on the inside now. He's going to need to watch his one mirror because he's about to lose a position. He couldn't have seen that because the mirror's off the side of the car. So Menard goes up the inside of him. Mirror missing, now can't see, and now Gary Ott's trying to have a look at him. Look, Ott sticking it on the right-hand side. I don't know that the drivers will be aware enough to know he hasn't got a right-hand mirror or try with a right-hand bend, but that will hamper both of them.
And also very tough fight because all good drivers in the top 7, top 8. So if you lose the momentum a little bit, like Rosser overtook Owens lost another place straight away, and now he's having to deal with Gary Ott, who is pressuring from behind with his red and yellow car, yellow wheels. You like those wheels a lot. Lewis
Flory's gone pits, if you look at the graphic on the screen, so that he's done what we thought he would do, started at the back of the pack and then disappeared off into the pit. So Flory has gone in and will be out of this one. I'm guessing he's borrowed a car from somebody and doesn't want to damage it, which is fair enough after he's damaged his car earlier on. Gary Ott is having a little attack here on Owens. Got a good exit, don't think he's quite close enough at this point. Might turn one is a good opportunity, you said, and he gives him a little light flash as well. Could have come out wide there maybe and got the better exit, had to back off because he was in too tight behind him. 7 is really the next place, isn't it?
Yeah, also Rosser just overtook Owens and he pulled quite a big gap already. So let's see if yesterday's winner, now in P4, Rosser, has the pace to close the gap to the next car ahead, Orsini.
This is Jamie Garrett trying to get past Tim Tweed, so she's having a look up the inside. Jamie Garrett going really well today. Goes deep on the brakes, Tweed cuts across the nose, manages to avoid, so nicely done, good awareness between them. But yeah, Garrett qualified 5th, I think, didn't she? She's up to 4th already, she did, so she's made one place up. Who's she gone past? Is it Corley? Yes, she's passed Lance Corley already. So we have 2 women in the top 5 here, sorry, in the top 4, brilliant. Kozira's managed to put a gap of 1.4 on Sperman, so Melissa Kozira, having made a decisive move, had set the fastest lap, has still set the fastest lap in her category, 207.3. Sperman is some 6/10 off. So in race trim, she's just got it. She's just she's on it.
And she's on it, meaning that at the start that gives you opportunity, because when she and the other drivers go up to the speed, it's difficult to overtake. So it was almost like her game plan to try to do something on the opening lap. And turn 3, she had a very good run coming out of turn 1 and was able to overtake Sperman.
She is on a 207.3. She's on a very similar pace to Gary Ott. And don't forget that Ott's in the back of the pack for the fight for the Coppa Shell. So, you know, if Kozira, and we're talking a long way ahead here, but if she ends up moving up next year, to me she's very much ready for it. We've got a long way to go yet, but I love to see this confidence. Sperman will want to come back if he can. Sperman had 2 P2s last. In fact, he's had 3 P2s. So he's been the bridesmaid in all 3 of the first races, and he's going to want to take top step this time around if he can. Purple sectors on his dashboard, so he is going well on this one. This is Parker. So what's Parker's gap at the front? 0.8. He's not managed to break the rest of them yet. He could do with Orsini. Okay, Rosser has been given a penalty. So 3 lines was originally 15 seconds. It was 5 seconds a line. We'll see if we can get in touch with race control and find out what's going on. So count Rosser out for now.
Yeah, Rosser and Owens, they had a contact here where the mirrors flew up in the air. So this is what happened.
That's a fast decision though, isn't it? So race control have seen something or a piece of footage that we haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean,
because how can they? There it is. There are the bits.
Yeah, but for sure. Rosser has done something, so he ran into Owens and the contact was heavy enough to...
Naughty step.
Yeah.
3 naughty steps.
Yeah, that's the place where you have a good overtaking opportunities, but you cannot lean or you cannot be too aggressive between these drivers. And let's see what happens here.
Yeah, he's about to lose more positions here. So we're hearing he's actually been given 15 seconds for a jump start. So he must have gone on the gas too early or crossed lanes. You can do.
Because I was saying that Orsini had a very poor start, but let's see, because if at the green flag Orsini didn't react, maybe race director, they gave the penalty because Rosser moved, but if the other car didn't accelerate. But let's see. So penalty Rosser, for now, it stays.
Yeah, Rosser with that penalty means these guys behind will be ahead of him. But at this point, they're now going to be wanting to dispatch him, because if they know he's going to drop behind them anyway, they'll want to get after it and try and chase down the pack in front. The gap between Orsini and Menard is about 4 and a bit seconds now. So it is tricky. Even more than that, I think. Rosser was definitely slow on the previous lap. I don't know if you made a mistake. Owens closes look on the brakes into the first corner. Ott is right behind Owens. Parker with that fastest lap, and the gap's now up to 1.6, so he's doubled the gap in the last couple of laps. Andrew Parker out front. Oi! That's Sperman. Sperman has spun out from P2 and he's sitting in a not very nice place. Spinning the car around there is going to be really tricky because the approach of everybody else. Do not reverse there. Do not reverse there. Oh, this is dodgy stuff. He's lucky to get away with that, Tony. Really lucky.
That's turn 17, just in the middle of the corner. He tried to turn the car around, and he was very lucky that nobody ran into him.
Here we go.
He's very close to. He's coming in with a lot of speed and also very wide line. He was closing on Melissa a lot. And
for me, should have gone right here, Tony, and taken a loop on the outside of the circuit where he can see. Instead, he crossed the line of traffic and reversed in. So,
but when we sometimes talk about race strategy, Melissa put the pressure, took the lead. Fabian was trying to catch her, and this is the result now.
And he's gone. So he's gone. Right, let's take a look at the lap times from earlier. It was 2:04.1 for Sperman, 2:04.7 for Kozira. Tweet had a 0.7, Corley had a 0.9. They were the only drivers in the 2:04s. Jamie Garrett was a 2:05.2, and Garrett's up to P3. So 2 women on the podium here, absolutely fantastic. How far back is Garrett from Tweet? I'm just having a look at the timing screen. The interval is 1.3. So great stuff. Oh, imagine if we got a 1-2 for Jamie Garrett and Melissa Kozira. Come on, Jamie, let's go. And nothing against Tim, but you know, we've been championing the women this weekend. They've been doing a brilliant job. Kozira's been absolutely dominant at the front. But these two behind are probably the only two that are left in the race who have a similar qualifying pace. But having said that, you know what, this wasn't about qualifying pace. It was about race strategy, as you said, and it was about a decisive move on lap 1.
Yeah, racing and some of the details are completely different to actual qualifying, where on new tires, low fuel, you just mentally prepare for that one lap. But race start, higher fuel level, colder tires, and you need to feel the car a bit more. And Melissa, for example, she was very determined to take that race lead. And here instead we're seeing Whittle and Orsini. This is a great battle that is coming together now.
It is, yeah, Orsini right behind on Whittle's tail. And Orsini, I'm sure, would love to go after Parker. What's the gap? The gap's gone up to 3. So, yeah, at the minute, Orsini's race pace, he was 0.4 quicker on the last lap. I think he'll want to go through now and try and chase after Parker. That's Steve Czech and Nürnberg. I'm not sure what positions they were in before, and if Czech's passed there or if Nürnberg was having a look up the inside, not sure. Nürnberg a little bit untidy on the way into the left-hander there, but still good to see him having a crack at Steve. Steve with the gold livery, had the gold livery last year as well. We like that, Steve, makes you easy to spot. I remember he had a great result in Daytona last year and was all smiles and a couple of glasses of champagne in Casa Ferrari at the end of the day, sipping with me and Nina J. Look at that, the glint on the car, you know? I get some sort of a Hollywood glint, isn't it? The old ding on the teeth, looking good.
Yeah, it's very beautiful livery. But we have nice stories, what's behind the liveries and how the drivers and the teams decide the colors on their race cars. So it's very nice to see on Ferrari Challenge Grid.
Certainly is. Chuck Whittle, the man with one of my favourite liveries. Yeah, it is. Whittle under big pressure from Orsini, but although he has actually just stretched it a tiny bit, Orsini takes the standard racing line all the way out, and yeah, Whittle doesn't need to go defensive here. In the background, Menard has got past Owens. Ross has dropped down. Maybe Ross has dropped behind all 4 of them. So I don't know what happened there, but Rosser has tumbled down the leaderboard. Who was it behind him? Was it Menard? Or it was Menard, wasn't it, behind him before, I think. So I think that's Rosser dropping down. He's not showing us in the pits right now, but 2:12.0. So 6 seconds, Tony. Yeah, good spot. So yeah, Rosser has either come into the pits or has had a shocker of a lap. He's a long, long way off. Fastest lap has just gone to Andrew Parker, 2:04.4. That's pretty good, I think. Yeah, it's 2 seconds off his pole time. At this point in the race, we're half distance. This, I reckon, another 4 or 5 minutes is when yesterday we think people started to have their tyres go off a bit.
Yeah,
last spin.
187.
That is Danny Patel. So Danny Patel with a very cool livery. What a shame. Back this weekend after 9 months off. He last raced in Watkins Glen last year.
Yeah, that was again turn 17. Let's see if we get a replay on it. Oh, there is a fight. 4 cars, and he just went too wide. His 4th car on this train of cars, and he just too wide. He took the bumps, and the car was rotating too much, so he just lost the rear.
Yeah. If you're wider there, the drivers are indicating that the bump is worse if you're too wide.
It is worse, and then you have less grip, so you suddenly need to close more the steering, and everything happens differently. The flow and the rhythm changes completely, because you are just trusting the grip that you will get when you approach a certain speed, and when you are flying, the grip level is not the same anymore.
So Jamie Garrett has dropped a little way off the back of Tim Tweed now, as you can see in the background. Looking at their last lap times. Garrett did a personal best last time, but Tweet has upped the pace a bit and has gone 0.7 quicker. So I wondered if it was a mistake, but I think Tweet might just have upped his pace a bit. Still at the minute, Garrett is on for a podium, which I'm sure she'd be over the moon with.
Yeah, normally when another driver is trying to catch you, it's better to react early. So I think Melissa now needs to pick up the speed. Few tenths per lap, not to allow the driver behind him to catch or get too close. Then it gets a lot more difficult.
Yeah, driving defensive lines, messing up your rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. So I think she needs to react now, and the next 2 laps are very important. Either pull away more or remain with this same gap.
out. What we don't know, of course, is who has managed to look after their tyres and who's really pushed.
Yeah, Melissa's lap times
1.3. Yeah.
Dropping a little bit.
1.3 off, although actually looking at it, her lap times are actually consistent, aren't they? But Tweed has upped the pace and has actually done his best lap on the last one, so he's gone 1.2 quicker here. So Melissa Kozira is still consistent out front, Tweed pushing hard behind. He might use his tyres up before her. We'll find out. And of course, he's got to get to her, then he's got to pass her. And she didn't let anyone through yesterday. But then nobody could keep up with her yesterday, could they? Early on the throttle, isn't he?
Yeah, and you can see some movement coming out of 7. We are past the half distance of the race, so the tires are giving up a little bit. So also we could hear post-race interviews that suddenly the track felt a lot greasier. It was difficult to stop the car to the hairpins in the hard braking. So this is the actual moment where drivers need to start fighting the car and the tires a bit more. And I think Melissa is now under pressure.
Under a lot of pressure. So last time round he was 1.3 quicker. Tim Tweed this time has found an extra boost of pace and has absolutely smashed that gap to bits. He's really pulled it in. Orsini and Whittle over the line. Orsini in front, so is this going to be the point? He was behind, wasn't he? Whittle still on the inside line. Orsini's going to try and go the long way round. Careful, lads. That's not where you want to go round. Lock it in, lock it in. Stop it, Chuck. That's a good lad. So Chuck Whittle holds on. They should have been a bit more aware of each other there for me, Tony. They were side by side. It is difficult in a race car, I know.
Yeah,
you've got the ears on the seats and things, but if you know the car's there, you have to make sure you're leaving enough room
Yeah, it
inside
was a
and
drag
outside.
race from 17. It was a drag race. They went side by side the whole main straight, and then Whittle just had a tight line, Orsini more normal racing line, and there was a tiny aero touch, and that sent Whittle, because obviously from inside you cannot disappear. You have wall.
Yes, there is a wall. It can't go anywhere, so you do have to leave a car's width. So if you were apportioning blame, is that tricky?
It's tricky. I would say that 2 drivers who decide to go side by side into turn 1, I would say was a racing accident.
Yeah.
Very difficult to put blame on any of the drivers, because
you could either come back out of that, but also Orsini could leave a car width, but then if otherwise you can go, I'm not going to make this, I'm going to drop back.
But sometimes if you want to back off from the certain situation, it's actually worse.
Yeah.
Because when the effort is taken too far, it's almost better to touch door to door than disappear and take the rear corner.
Yeah, try and lift mid corner and drop it and take you both out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes a more decisive move, even if there's a slight touch, there's less consequence. But here, turn 1, high speed. Luckily, no bigger drama.
No, Czech and Nürnberg still going at it. Nürnberg has a look to the inside line, but he's not serious about it. Well, he may well have been serious. It might be the Steve was super late on the brakes. He is a bit deep on the exit, but he gets away with it. Another beautiful day to go racing in for. I have to say, it's my first time to Sebring International, and I'm a big fan. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed this track a lot as a driver, but also as a spectator, because this brings a lot of action, and I also can sense what the drivers feel behind the wheel, and I know what kind of commitment this track requires. So huge respect to all drivers in all 4 categories.
Oh, big move up the inside here. That's Lennon on Corley. Really nicely done, opportunistic. Corley was watching Jamie Garrett just in front, and Lennon went, thanks very much, I'll pop through that gap. Now Garrett says lost a bit of time to Tweed out front. She is still in a podium position at the minute, and she's coming under pressure now. This will help her, the 2 behind. She can do with Corley and Lennon getting into a bit of a scrap. Well, Lennon's coming hot there into 17, but somehow does get away with it. He's going to carry the speed through. It's Jamie Garrett under a bit of pressure here from John Lennon, and Lance Corley there as well. Lennon with a great front bump up. Bit of damage earlier on in the weekend at some point. And then behind with the blue stripe is Lance Corley.
Yeah, and this is the fight, like you mentioned. This is for P3, so the last place on the podium. And this thing is also heating up. We have 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, the interval now between Tim Tweed and Jamie Garrett is 11 seconds. And at one point she was right there. So lap time, what are we talking at the minute for Jamie? 2:07.4 behind John Lennon 207.8, Lance Corley 207.9. They're all pretty closely matched, and now she's getting a bit of a push on again. Is that Kozira now? Melissa Kozira's just done a 206.5, so she's done her fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, this is when teams are learning from setup and also tire pressure. So you see that the gap and the drop is moving forward. Yesterday, mid-race, they started to struggle, and now, 2/3 of a race, they're still posting their fastest lap times. So
Really
you struggle
impressive.
a little bit at the start, and then the peak of performance is now on a minute 20 of racing.
Yeah, so Kozira knows that Dweet is there, and Dweet doesn't have the fastest lap overall, don't forget. You know, we have said that she's been very consistent, but she's now within 4/10 of Dweet's fastest lap. So, you know, if she has just sat at 207.1 or whatever through the whole race, she may just have a bit more rubber left on those Pirellis and be able to hold him off.
Yeah, Dweet touching all the buttons in the car. He has also the rain light
Oh,
on.
so he set the rain light off. Brilliant. He's been a busy boy.
Yeah.
We always say it's like trying to catch a wasp in the car. You know, your hands are going everywhere around. No, you end up hitting all the
when in
different
doubt,
things.
put the rain light on.
Yeah, exactly. When in doubt, put all the lights on. Anything, hit all the buttons. You know, your man's having a quick swig of the drink, look up on the flag. He's getting powered up, ready to get the checkered flag out. We want to see some spectacular flag waving as he gets in a litre of whatever that was up the top. It looked like antifreeze, I hope it wasn't. Melissa Kozira coming under more pressure now from Tweed, but doing a good job so far. This is where she made her pass on lap number 1. Brilliant pass it was, and she's deep on the brakes. Kozira's made a little mistake there. She's going to get away with it. Waiting through the long left-hander and then on the throttle, and this is where you want to get the run through 6 down to 7. So Tim Tweed is in a good position here to have a look at Kozira if he wants to in the braking zone. Is he close enough to pop out of that slipstream? I think he might be. Tim Tweed trying to go late on the brakes. Kozira's seen him, has she? I think she has, but she loses. What's she like? Is it his mirror? He's lost his mirror and she goes through the dirt and holds on. What's your thoughts, Tony?
A little bit forceful.
Not close enough?
Not too much, but was forceful move. Yeah, Melissa tried to defend, but it looked like P2 driver
Tim Tweed, yeah.
Yeah, so he sort of released the brake. So it's side by side. It's not enough. And here he releases the brake. Whoa! He comes suddenly side by side. It wasn't a big touch.
Yeah.
And the main thing right now is Melissa retook the lead. So I think this is pretty fair right now. So
okay, so you think it was a little bit too late for Tweed? If he was going to release the brake, he should have done it earlier, shouldn't he? And got 100% up the inside before the brake pressure block pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Great analysis.
But I don't know
if
he has an issue or just by going a little bit offline, the grip is not there, because it wasn't a big touch.
No.
I almost felt like only the mirror touched on Melissa's car, but he had the opportunity and he went for it.
Yeah, which again, as we've said multiple times this weekend, that's what we want to see. We don't want to see people not trying, but it was good and fair. Also, Melissa was clever enough to leave enough space for it not to be a big impact. When you get that contact, you just got to respond to it and go, okay, what's the best outcome here? So last time around the gap was 0.4, and this time around it's 2.6. So that attempt has put him 2.2 back. With 5 minutes left to go, and the lap time's not varying by much. This is that's caught. No, sorry,
Was
Chuck with under pressure from Roy Carroll.
Yeah, and ahead is Carriot.
So where's Gary Ott? Up into P5. Yeah, Owens is a little way in front of him. Parker and Orsini, the gap out front is it's 9.7. So Parker's absolutely dumped Orsini at some point in this. Either Orsini's made a mistake or Parker has been smashing in fast laps. Yeah, he went 6/10 quicker on the last one.
Yeah,
this is brilliant.
Parker's rhythm, it's just been better and better compared to the other drivers, but also Orsini, Vittel, they lost a little bit of time in the fight.
The fighting.
In several laps and going into turn 1. But Parker's rhythm is really just better than the other drivers, so his consistency has been the key for 10-second lead.
Whittle drops a wheel into the dirt. Roy Carroll now having a look to the inside line. This is up towards 17. Carroll with good momentum here. Got to take some speed into the corner. He needs to hope Whittle sit him, and I think he has. Yes, he has. So he'll come in deep. Whittle might try an inside move on the exit. Whittle is tight. Carroll goes over those bumps. We saw catch out Danny Patel earlier, but he doesn't have an issue. And he's away. Nicely done. So Whittam's had a, not ideal run here, unfortunately. But he's still got a brilliant livery. Blake Rosser as well. Lewis Flory we saw retire on lap number 1, chose to retire. Blake Rosser with the penalty, yesterday's winner, not going to do the double here. Parker at the minute is looking to convert his first ever pole position to his first ever win and fastest lap as well. He couldn't take a clean sweep today. This is Whittle.
Yeah, Whittle had 2 very good qualifyings. One yesterday, one today. But then in races, he lost a few places. 1, 2, 4.
Steve Chet. Steve Chet's gone around
watch out,
again.
watch out.
Oh God. This the places people are having to turn around is freaking me out.
Yeah, this was 16, just before the back straight.
Yeah. Nürnberg and him were in a battle. I wonder if it's affected Nürnberg as well, or if Steve dropped it on his own. Okay, yeah, we're hearing he did do it on his own, so we'll see if we can find a replay for you. Into 17 goes Steve Chet. Kozira leads from Tweet by, this is in the AM category, 3.6 seconds. It's gone up. So Kozira, having had a bit of pressure in the middle of the race, up to a game, held on. Dweet had a little go, didn't come off, and he's now dropping back. Parker out front again came under some pressure, didn't he? And then just seemingly has managed to find extra pace. He's 10 seconds up the road with 2 minutes 50 to go. Charlie Menard in P3. Menard, I think, got P3 yesterday, if I remember correctly. Says Frenton looking down his notes. Yes, he did. So Menard looking at a double podium here this weekend. Nice result. So things finally starting to settle down just a little bit. Michael Owens there in the 103 is trying to get past Charlie Menard. He'd like to get the final podium spot with 2 minutes 18 left. He's got a lap and a half to do it probably, depending where they're on the circuit now. Yeah, they're not going to make it round for another 2, are they? It'll be 1 more. Too far away from the timing line to get the extra lap in. Ott is still under pressure from Roy Carroll behind. If Gary's... contact on the straight. Is that Nürnberg again? No. Yes, it's Corley and it is Lennon. Sorry, my bad from the back.
Whoa, that's a high-speed contact.
It is high speed. What are they missing? Mirrors, or is it bits of bumper? Both got their mirrors intact, it seems. Yeah, right-hand side of Lennon's car. Look, you can see the... I don't know if it's the side where it is on the side of the car. This was Lennon. He got sideways on the exit. Not a lot of malice in that, really. I think Lennon lost pace on the exit.
Yeah.
Wanted to, and then wanted to go to the right. Corley did. Lennon maybe didn't know he was there.
Yeah, normally race director and the stewards, they don't want to see drivers squeezing other drivers towards the wall. So if you have a poor run coming out of 16, it doesn't mean you can squeeze another driver to the wall. But let's see if there is further investigation.
We're hearing from race control that it might be the second time it's happened in the same place. So yeah, as you say, you can't shut the door on somebody. But now look, Lennon, I think he's maybe fuming a bit and wants to get back past, which I can understand. Bit of a battle going on here in Coppa Shell AM.
148.
It's Sweder in the yellow car. Is it Gomez with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sweder is in the yellow car, Gomez is there, and it's not Patel, so it must be Vartugin, yeah. Checks off, so Steve checks off, and he's had a spin already, so he's having a bit of a wild ride in this one. We are on the final lap.
Yeah, 30 minutes of green flag.
Yeah, so the tyres are screaming out.
Tyres and drivers,
Yeah, well, this is a physical place, isn't it?
Really?
I think we're lucky it wasn't hotter here, because if it had been hotter with the physicality of the bumps and everything here, it could have been very tricky. This man has done an absolutely brilliant job today. Andrew Parker taking his first ever pole earlier and was absolutely overjoyed with it. He was so smiley, he didn't know what to do with himself when he was talking to Nina Jade Paul. Had a great run yesterday. Melissa Kozira coming across now with, look how far she's managed to gap the position. Melissa promised me earlier, or Melissa's other half promised me earlier, that she would jump in the pool if she got 2 wins. So she's going to get 2 wins here. Melissa, if you don't get in the pool, I'm going to be really cross. So we need to make sure, I don't know what really cross is going to translate to, probably just some firm words in Casa Ferrari. But I want to see Melissa Kozira getting in the pool, and I'm going to encourage her, just so you know. That is Gary Ott behind Chuck Whittle is either side. Chuck Whittle one back from...
Yeah, it's Gary Ott, Roy Carroll.
Carroll's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, Carroll's the one I'm looking for. Too many graphics, too many cars. I'm like, what is going on here? Where is Andrew Parker? He must be close to the finish surely by now, isn't he? These four having a bit of a scrap. Parker was on his final lap. Ott's going to come under pressure here
at this point of the race.
Rosser is out. Here comes it, Parker now. So through the final corner, took the pole. He holds the fastest lap. He's going to take his debut win as well. What a brilliant weekend here for Andrew Parker at Sebring International Raceway. Clean sweep of the results on day 2. Pole, fastest lap and win. Gary Ott coming through, will hold on to P4. Roy Carroll behind, then Chuck Whittle and Blake Ross, who we know has also got a penalty, but that won't matter because he's ended up finishing in P8 anyway. So over the line. So it's Parker, Orsini and Menard with the top 3. We're waiting now for the Coppa Shell AM drivers to come round. And it's going to be the double for Kozira unless she has some sort of an absolute shocker on today's final laps. And I don't think she's going to. Again, a fantastic drive. Absolutely brilliant pole yesterday. Got P2 today in terms of qualifying. Yesterday she took the win with the pole. Today she came under pressure in the middle of the race. But Melissa Kozira, who did the double at the end of last year out in Italy at the Finale Mondiali, is going to do the double here at an equally challenging, in a very different weight track. Sebring International Raceway has been conquered by this fantastic female driver. Melissa Kozira over the line for a double win at one of the toughest tracks on the calendar. What about that?
Yeah, what a perfect execution. She put pressure on the race leader. Spearman.
No. So it's Lennon and Spurman, and Lennon's been in the wars, hasn't he? Prior to that, he was having contact with Nürburg. Spurman coming home, not quite flat out now down the straight. This is Tim Tweet coming round. Jamie Garrett got P2. Tim Tweet has dropped right down. We didn't see what happened, but Jamie Garrett has got P2. It is a 1-2 for the female drivers in Coppa Shell Land. What a brilliant result for Garrett, and thoroughly deserved after a great qualifying this morning. Jamie Garrett, under immense pressure in the middle of this race, upped her lap times, held the position, and right at the end of the race, something's happened to Tim Tweet, and she's going to get second on the podium. What a day here.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
A lot of action in this Coppa Shell race throughout the field, but also, Tim Tweet was challenging for the lead, Kozira, and suddenly he had an issue, dropped back, and then he even lost the podium place. Down to P4, very weird.
I'm going to have a little bet here that there hasn't been a female 1-2, 1 and 2 in a class of Ferrari Challenge. Now, I don't know, I've been with this series for 2 years. You've been around Ferrari a bit longer, Tony. I know you don't know all the results from all around the world. Nobody could.
No,
but
for sure, this doesn't happen every day.
No. This is brilliant, isn't it?
I don't remember a race like this.
Look at this. Look, they're waving to each other out the window. Got it done. Who run the world? Girls. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, Melissa Kozira's race, she executed a perfect game plan. Opening lap, take the lead. And there was some very tough competition, some immense pressure, and with the right tools, she defended the race lead, and the others around her run into trouble. 2 wins.
Brilliant.
One yesterday, one today.
Really good wins, not fortuitous wins. Wins under pressure, wins with a safety car, wins from the front of the grid. Wow. Should, if doesn't already, who was leading the standings? Rosser was moved up, so it was Fabian Spurman. Where has Spurman finished in this? Had an issue, didn't he? So he's dropped down. Spurman is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in Shell Am. Melissa Kozira's taken 2 wins. She had a 3rd and a 5th at the first one. Fabian Sperman had 2 P2s. It's going to be very close in terms of the championship lead between Melissa Kozira and Fabian Sperman. And I'm willing to bet money that this is also going to boost Jamie Garrett right up the standings too. These two are going to be over the moon. They're going to come back to Parc Ferme and park up alongside each other in P1 and P2. What happened to Tim Dweet in the background? You could see him there. We're trying to figure out if we've got it or see if we can find it. They're heading off to Parc Ferme at 1, 2 and 3. We haven't seen too much waving or gesticulation or anything. Right, we think a back marker has spun and slowed Tim Dweet down. Let's take a look at the replays and see. This was. There's Kozira and there's Dweet. Yes. So who has spun here? The one for O'Neill. Yeah. So O'Neill was in qualifying. Yeah. And there's Lennon going round on the dirt, and then Sperman has probably lifted mid-corner, maybe having seen Lennon go round, so that was disasters all round, wasn't it, right at the end there? But particularly for Tim Dweet, I'm sorry for him there because it's not of his own doing, and fair play to Joseph O'Neill. He's in Shellam, he's here and he's learning, but as a lapped car he's obviously had a little issue, and unfortunately that's cost Tim Dweet. That's the way it goes sometimes. He'll be disappointed, I'm sure, but Tim, absolutely brilliant racing, and we loved seeing him chasing Melissa down. We had a little crack down at turn 7. Didn't quite get it done, but good stuff all day.
Yeah, I think in tennis we have them unforced errors, and we had some unforced errors from our drivers in the last 10 minutes. So that is the concentration and also the physical beating you get around this lap.
Unforced errors, I like that. We need the stats, don't we? Like we get at Wimbledon and Roland Garros. Let's take a look at the results then from a second encounter here this weekend. Coppa Shell, Andrew Parker took the pole, took the fastest lap, took the win. No pressure really. I mean, there was in the middle of the race, but he's made it look easy is what I'm trying to say. Kevin Orsini in P2, Charlie Menard with a second P3 of the weekend. Then it's Michael Owens, Gary Ott, Roy Carroll, Chuck Whittle and Blake Rosser. Melissa Kozira taking the win in Coppa Shell, and from Jamie Garrett. It is a 1-2 for the women in the category and overall. Lance Corley, Tim Dweet, Jeffrey Nunberg, Sperman. There was all sorts going on there. Dweet got caught out on the last lap. Corley and Nunberg came together. Sperman spun when someone went round in front of him. Peruskia, then Hummel, Bernstein, Czech, Vartugin down to P19. And then you got Gomez, Sweder, Patel, O'Neill, Lewis Floyd, Jeffrey Keel and John Lennon. John Lennon DQ'd. So John Lennon has been disqualified, and that will be from the contact on the straight earlier on. So Lennon has been, I think it will anyway, we're guessing obviously. So he's been DQ'd. There we go. Andrew Parker, there he is. Hugs all round, they're over the moon. He's got it done. Yeah, he got the P1, got the pole, got the fastest lap, got the win.
Great race.
That's wonderful, isn't it? So happy for you. Lovely to see. Just running over to congratulate each other on a great day's racing. And that's what this is all about, Ferrari Challenge North America. Nina Jade Paul is down there, look, hovering with her camera. What is it she says? Who can I bother next? She's going to go and bother our winners in a moment, but not quite ready to bother them yet. So she'll jump in when all the family celebrations are done. Great racing. Great racing. So this is Jamie Garrett, who's over the moon with P2, and she's about to meet Melissa Kozira. It's a 1-2 for the girls. Like I said, who run the world? Girls, look at that. Brilliant, brilliant celebration between them. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Manuel Marchi and Matt Dusenbury down there to congratulate them on a fantastic and well-earned result as well. Well, I've had a good day so far, Tony. We haven't even had the Pirelli race yet.
Yeah, beautiful stories, and also the dominant weekend from Melissa Kozira. It's a top story of the weekend so far. Very nice to see. And also, yeah, 2 ladies, 1-2.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Andrew Parker, he's done the 3. He's taken the clean sweep of the results today. He's with Nina Jade Paul.
Yes, look at that. Absolutely brilliant. Pole, Fastest lap, race win. You said it was slippery there towards the end. You were totally dominant, Andrew. Talk us through that.
Well, you asked me after I got the pole what was the plan, and I said, okay, I'm just gonna take off, right? And that's what I did. So I just executed, and it felt amazing. The car felt really good, and I took off, right? Didn't see anybody.
You absolutely dominated that race, Andrew. How will you celebrate tonight?
Thank you. I'm celebrating with my family. I have my kids here. I have so much family here. I give a big thanks to my coach Felice, to my team 111. I couldn't do it without all of their support. I'm so grateful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How lovely to see his family there with him and to hear a bit of emotion in his voice as well. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, this is very, very nice to see. Yeah, time to celebrate for the Coppa Shell drivers.
Now, what he should have said, of course, is, I'm going to have an ice cream to celebrate. That's what he should have said. But you know what? I'll forgive him because he's got a great livery. It's got sprinkles on it. It's got chocolate sauce on it. And now it's going to have a P1 trophy stood on it as well. Brilliant job by Andrew Parker. Let's take a look down again in Park Ferme. There is the car of Melissa Kozira. Right, Nina Jade, I need you to remind Melissa that she told me, well, okay, her other half, who stood there with you, told me she was getting in the pool and she took a double win. You better ask her, Nina Jade Paul.
Melissa Kozira, double race winner. You got your first North American win yesterday. You got your second North American win today. Talk us through your emotions.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable, really. I came into this track kind of worried about it because everybody says, oh my gosh, Sebring's so rough, it's a hard track. And so I really came into it intimidated, but I don't know. I guess there wasn't much to be intimidated on.
You absolutely smashed it. I know there was a bit of contact with Tim. What happened there?
Yeah, I think he tried to do a little dive bomb into 7, and he surprised me, actually, because I saw him behind me when I started my braking zone, and then all of a sudden, as I was turning in, he was there, and I'm like, oh, shoot, or something like that.
These things happen. Now, I strategically positioned your other half here because this morning we made a deal, you, me, and Andrew, that if you got a double win, I don't know if you're aware about this, Melissa, but if you got a double win, you would have to jump in the pool at the podium.
No, how did I get involved in this? I think he needs to.
We suggested that would be a great way to celebrate, but great job.
I mean, it's completely up to you, but Andrew is egging you on in my ear, just so you know.
You better do it.
He said in my ear, you better do it, Melissa.
Oh, boy. Oh,
proud
boy.
of you, Lovey. Very proud of you. You really make me proud.
Thank you. Oh,
Congratulations to you both. Have an amazing afternoon.
appreciate it.
That is so sweet. They are such a lovely couple. They really are. Every day, Melissa's other half comes up and says how much he's enjoyed watching the car. He's a really lovely man. And of course, it's up to Melissa if she wants to jump in the pool. We're only digging, but what a fantastic! I tell you, if there was ever a time to do the Monaco, water jump, today is it, because as she said, there wasn't a lot to be intimidated by. I think to come to one of the most technical circuits, arguably in the world, but definitely in the USA, and do what she's done here is brilliant, Tony.
Yeah, I sometimes get asked the question, what would you do different in your career? I would have celebrated more the victories.
Yeah.
The schedule was so busy always that even winning at Le Mans or other important races, we were testing the days after. So in this case, I would really suggest to Melissa, celebrate. Go and have fun and go for it.
Go for it.
Because these are the memories, these are the things that you will remember for a long time, and nobody can take these away from you.
Good advice from Tony Villano.
So enjoy when there's the right time.
Thanks, mate. I love lovely words from Tony, a very successful racing driver in his own right. So go celebrate. I'm sure people will be doing that. Let's take a look at the points after the second Coppa Shell race here at Sebring International Raceway. Blake Rosser leads. Andrew Parker look up 2 places. He's only 12 points off. Gary Ott is down 1, but he's still very much in the mix, just 4 points back. Chuck Whitten down 1 as well. That's because Parker's gone up. Of course, Owens remains in P5. The gaps are spreading a little bit, but we're so far off anywhere, deep into the season. But at the minute, Rosser, Parker, Ott, Whittle, we've said, haven't we? It's tight at the top. Chen down in P8. Great stuff. Charlie Menard had a good weekend, up 6 places. Same for Roy Carroll, up 5. For everybody else, Walterstorff, Evans, Rose, Dayton, Glenn Moss. Moss, I think, not here this weekend, if I remember correctly. And Javier Rodriguez Borgio as well, because Moss was winner for us last time out in Thermal. The ebb and flow of the championship points will be interesting as the season goes on. These are the standings for Shell Am. Melissa Kozira in the lead. She takes the lead in the standings by 3 points from Fabian Sperman. We said it would be close, and they are starting to gap a little bit, Tim Dweet and Steve Czech and co. So Dweet has got the pace, definitely. Jamie Garrett, okay, she's held P5, but she must have had a great weekend in Dermal, but this is a better one here. P2 on the podium today. Nürnberg up 2 places, Peruski stays put, Henry Hummel down 2. Tons of drivers, Corley, Bernstein, Vartugi and Gomez up 2, Lennon, Holt, Sweden up 5 positions. And then Jeffrey Kill, Moyes, Mendoza, Roberts, Patel, O'Neill and Sposato. Wow. We're not going to have long before we get cracking again with Pirelli, I think. Planes are landing on the runway just to the side. Still on active airfield alongside Sebring International Raceway. What a great start. There's Parc Fermé. The cars are in there. The hugs are still going on. The podiums will be later on today if you'd like to watch and stick around. They will be after the Trofeo Pirelli encounter, which is coming up next. Photos going on for the families down there as well. So stay with us. We are going to be right back very shortly indeed with Trofeo Pirelli. Don't go anywhere. We are good to go here for our second and final race of day 2 here. We've had 4 races over the course of the weekend, double headers of course for Coppa Shell and also for Trofeo Pirelli, which is what's coming up next. Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli Am. It's their round 4 of the year. 2 double headers. We did the first 2 races at Thermal over in California, Sebring now in Florida, and then Cota, Austin, Texas, Laguna Seca and Sonoma in California, then Road America, and the Finale Mondiale in Spain, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, which is the Formula 1 track, and that'll be a great place to go. Tons of places to pass there. Great place to hold the finale. Sebring International Raceway. It is a very challenging track, although the Coppa Shell drivers have just proved that it can be conquered. Melissa Kozero doing the double, taking a win in both, and yeah, amazing performance for her. Andrew Parker taking his debut win here as well. So as long as you concentrate and keep those bumps in mind, you can get it done. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me is our resident expert, and that is Tony Villander.
Yeah, we are into our 4th, let's say, race 2 of Pirelli and Pirelli Am, and very dominant weekend so far for Johnny Kaminski. He dominated the practice, really strong in qualifying. Race 1 he made a small mistake, contact with Perina as well, both ended up spinning off the track, and today's qualifying performance for Johnny just another level, low 159, only few tenths of a second from GT3 pole position for Sebring 12 hours. So just showing Johnny's talent, but also the speed in right hands that you can do with these Ferrari Challenge cars. Here we see Johnny's car, very bright livery. You love those wheels.
I do love those wheels.
Mentioned many times.
I bet they're a pain to keep clean though, with the brake dust, you know?
Yeah. For mechanics, it's a lot of work, I think.
Yeah, look, you see this brake dust in there now. I can live with that. It's day 2. It's okay. But I love a good livery.
Hey, don't show those pressures.
Yeah, that's it. Hide the pressures, lads. Look, he's got his little pad out. Everyone's keeping it secret. Nobody wants to give away.
Sometimes for us European drivers, but even for engineers, some of them work with PSI and some of it with bar.
With bar, yeah.
So maybe there's either notes on the cell phone or even doing the calculation.
I love this. They're hiding the pressures. Good lads. Fair enough. There's a lot of work goes into that, doesn't it? Getting absolutely dialed.
Yeah, and we mentioned many times you can have 10 horsepower more, but if not these 4 things that are touching the ground, the track is not working, you can have all the horsepower you want. You need to have the setup and tire pressures, everything correct relating the tires. Also the driver needs to feel the balance. If you have understeer, oversteer, you overcook the tires and you don't get performance. So overall you would think all the drivers have same cars, same tires, but behind the scenes there is a lot of preparation and very detailed specific work and experience required even from the driver.
Data
and experience also. Yeah. Because like we mentioned yesterday, you can have a driver with a raw talent crashing sometimes, going off, but that raw talent brings a lot of speed, good lap times. It's maybe a bit easier to calm down a driver with a lot of speed. Instead, there's a lot of work for a driver to improve 1 second, half a second, or even 1.5 seconds on the lap time. So a lot of different stories. Most of these drivers, even in Pirelli, they have their driver coach, helps the driver to analyze the data you mentioned, braking points, gears, rolling speed into the corner, moment of when to go on throttle and when to let the car roll into the corners.
David Beaton here, got a P6 on his 1 outing in Thermal. Did okay in qualifying earlier on today, didn't he? He was on top of the car. He's very comfortable in the car. He said, didn't he, joke with us at lunch, I have great reflexes, the bumps are fine, but he was on top of the car very quickly, but he hasn't got the same amount of track time. He said, I only had 3 sessions on Friday to get my head into gear, so yeah, David, it's a big ask.
Yeah, David is a very interesting young man, also like Johnny Kaminski, very young age. Has had some practice, some training off the race weekends, but still he comes to this race weekend with a limited track knowledge. Is very easy to spot the talent he has and also the car control, but he needs a little bit more experience, and all the races he does, he learns more.
Yeah,
and he builds up his confidence and takes it to the coming test sessions as well. Every new set he puts on the car, underneath the car, he will go faster.
In the 21T, who's in the there it is, Gutierrez. So Gutierrez in his T-car. But on the pole, the 2 minutes .659. Then Esteban Beckman, second on the grid. Beckman, remember, yesterday took the pole and the win. I'm trying to think if he took the fastest lap as well. Yes, he did. So it was a clean sweep for this man yesterday. Pole, win, fastest lap. But a great lap earlier on today to challenge him on that front row from Kevin Gutierrez. Beckman's got Jan Bernier behind him from Ferrari of Seattle as well. So, yeah, they're all good. Right, Nina Jade Poole is in the pit lane. Where are you at, Nina Jade? What's going on?
I'm in the middle of everything that's going on right now. You can feel the tension. The atmosphere is high. Hello, do you want to have a quick chat with me? You don't want to have a chat. Thumbs up or thumbs down? How are you feeling? We got a thumbs up? We got a thumbs up. Okay. Lining up just behind, I see Mitchell Green's car. As you said, Andrew, I do bother the drivers. They're not in the mood to talk to me. They are very much in game mode. Of course they don't want to talk to me. Mitchell, how are you feeling, my friend?
Rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll, baby. Living the dream?
I got this.
He got this. He said he's got this. Lining alongside Mitchell Green, I see Jan Bernier's car. Now, they were old championship rivals last year. Jan, how are you feeling today?
Pretty good. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the first turn goes. I'll tell you after the race, probably.
You got Mitchell alongside you. You reckon you can finish ahead of him today?
Yeah, I think he and I should have a good battle. We'll see what these guys in front get into. They're both pretty quick here, so hopefully we have a nice, clean, green to green race.
Well, you seem as calm as a cucumber, so good luck today.
Thank you so much.
Well, some of our drivers want to chat, some of them don't, which is completely understandable because they are in game mode. But I did have a few chats with a few of our drivers earlier in the week, so let's see how I got on. Round 2 of Ferrari Challenge North America, and it brings us to Sebring International Raceway. It's a historic and unforgiving circuit, and I think, with that being said, we ought to speak to a few of our drivers to find out their thoughts and feelings on the track. Lewis Flory, describe the bumps on this track in 3 words.
Lots of fun. How's that?
Challenging, bumpy, fun.
Scary, bumpy, and even more bumpy.
Intense, angry, and not kind.
What's your initial impressions of the track as a whole?
Well, it's got a lot of history, so I like that part of it, but it's very challenging.
There's walls, and you're fast, and you're jumping, so it's a lot, but it's fun.
This is one of those old school tracks that has stood the test of time. It has its reputation in history for a reason, and it's earned every bit of it.
If you win tomorrow,
Yes.
or on Sunday,
Yep.
the podium is next to the pool. Would you jump in?
I'll jump in, 100%.
Are we making a bet? If
Absolutely.
you win a race, you'll jump in the pool.
Full suit. I'd be in.
Deal.
There was the pool right next to the podium. It's not even a long walk, Tony. So somebody doesn't get the pool.
Yeah, I think you played the pool card so obviously and
Too
so
much.
strongly that somebody will end.
You think
end up
somebody
in the
will
pool.
do it?
Yeah, it's not going to be Daniel Ricciardo's surprise. It's
True.
It's more.
True.
It's more
Yeah.
shoey in the pool.
But I don't think that, we have to encourage these people
Yeah,
to be
for sure.
more Danny Ricciardo,
Yeah, you
that's
know
what-
how to play the psychological game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just sow the seed, they have a little bit of a party up, they have a bit of a
Yeah.
celebration, couple of sweets of champagne, and bosh, you find yourself in the pool.
Yeah, a few comments on Nina Jade's interview tour with the drivers.
Yeah.
This is the difference between the drivers. Sometimes they do get a bit nervous and they don't want to talk. Some drivers get more talkative. They want to just keep chatting.
Beckman didn't want to talk at all, did he?
Yeah.
Bernier's
Yeah.
super calm.
And that's funny to see that difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the words they use, scary and fun. Completely different ends of the spectrum. Right, we're nearly ready. Let's get ourselves set for the final race of the weekend here at Sebring International Raceway.
I won't waste much time. So for the final time this weekend, Ferrari drivers, start your Ferrari engines.
Thumbs up, finger on the button, turn her over. Engineers leaving the grid. The foil comes off the screens now. That's Gutierrez. He was alongside Beckman. Beckman, who did not want to chat. Behind there, Mitchell Green, I've got this. Jan Bernier saying, let's see what happens in front. There's Roberto Perina. Perina, of course, I think at the back, isn't he, of the Trofeo Pirelli drivers after he was given a penalty for the contact with Kaminsky yesterday, but with a small field, that's not too much of a penalty. Kaminsky has got alongside him, it's George Grinsvich the third. That's George's best qualifying this season, definitely. I think he's come up again through Track Attack last year, because I'm sure he was on the podium tons of times in Track Attack last year, which runs alongside us here at these events. But yeah, good qualifying. Hazard lights are on, but they're rolling out, getting themselves ready to go. And a big long hold now for Trofeo Pirelli AM as well to separate the two fields. Really excited to see Beckman, what he does in turn one. Yesterday things got pretty exciting when he was in amongst the fight. So yeah, it could be interesting when we get down to turn one. Gutierrez and Beckman on the front row for this second pack. Trofeo Pirelli AM. Right, let's get ready, shall we? One final dance here at the super challenging Sebring International Raceway. Race number 2 for Trofeo Pirelli here at Sebring International Raceway. On the front row, Johnny Kaminsky with the pole. Went half a second quicker than yesterday, as Tony Villander alongside me, Andrew Coley, said just a little while ago. Almost on GT3 pace for the Sebring 12 hours. George Grinsvich the third with a brilliant qualifier to be on the front row as well. Row number 2, Brian Cook and Brad Falvera had a great battle yesterday. And row 3, David Beaton with Roberto Perina. Beaton didn't race yesterday, so good to see him out. Perina, of course, yesterday with the contact, penalised to get down there. Gutierrez and Jonathan Weisman. Weisman in the top category, of course. Esteban Beckman will be alongside Gutierrez. Mitchell Green then alongside Jan Bernier, in fact. Matthew DL. And then we've got Gregory Hopkins and Martin Burrows. Michael Porter and Jay Logan. And that is it. So it's a smaller field here, but it is not going to be any less competitive. We've been saying that Trofeo Pirelli and particularly is incredibly tight between these drivers. So let's see what they got in them today, Tony.
Yeah, there are some of the drivers who moved up from Coppa Shell, Jan Bernier, Mitchell Green, some of the names. Yeah, in Pirelli AM the fight has been very tight. A lot of drivers have similar pace, similar driving skill and experience. In Pirelli AM, unfortunately, Roberto Perina is not up there with Johnny Kaminsky, because this was the battle we were expecting a bit more. David Piton, we are riding here with him. He's a bit nervous before the start, limited track time, what to expect at the start. This morning he was saying he's ready to take all the positions there is at the start, and in case other drivers run into issues, he's ready to fight for the positions. Interesting expectations for the race. Obviously, we have the two-class split. We have two safety cars. First the Pirelli class, then we have few seconds gap, and then the Pirelli AM.
Yeah, quite a big gap, wasn't it, earlier on this weekend? I like it because it gives us a full chance to follow the full start of the top category and then drop back and see the AM category as well. As you said, Tony, you know, that battle often goes here all the way to turn 7. That's the point at which they start to spread out a bit. Here is Gutierrez on the pole, right out to the dirty part of the track there for warming tyres up.
Gutierrez also must be a bit nervous. First ever pole in anything for him.
Yes.
So exciting times.
It is indeed. Here we go then. Johnny Kaminsky leading off with pole yesterday, managed to get fastest lap on the win. He's got Grinsvich alongside him. That's the first time Grinsvich has started next to him. Every driver reacts differently. Of course, then it's Cook and Falvera behind. Perina on the outside of the back row with David Beaton next to him, super tight in together. Kaminsky's backing them all up, waiting for the green light. And now they're on the throttle. You can hear the howl of the Ferrari engines as they come down the straight. Cook is sticking a nose out. Perina pulls out from the very back of the grid. Grinsvich has gone down a place already. Perina looking inside Falvera. Can't make it stick though. So Falvera in P4, I think it is. Yes, it is. Grinsvich has dropped to third. Cook up into P2. Meanwhile, out the front, Kaminsky is looking to get a breakaway done. Here we go then down towards the first corner. Gutierrez in the blue and black outside him. Yesterday's winner, Esteban Beckman. Gutierrez has got away. Jan Bernier looking inside Mitchell Green, but can't get it done. Those two had a great title scrap last year in Coppa Shell, and they're in a line as well. Nicely done in the background. Bit of scrapping going on, but nothing too wild. So Gutierrez leads. And Beckman follows Mitchell Green and then Jan Bernier. Matthew DL holds on to P5 in the 22. That is Michael Porter. He's in a bit of a fight with Gregory Hopkins in front of him. Porter runs a bit wide in the background. Great stuff.
Yeah, very clean start in both categories. Interesting to see here, Beckman now in P2. He was very aggressive, looking for all the opportunities, even with Pirelli drivers yesterday. So what happens between Gutierrez and Beckman? Does Gutierrez have enough space to pull away, or is Beckman going to give him hard time for the whole 30 minutes?
Beckman yesterday was very racy, but towards the end of the encounter again, we felt tyres were going off. You said he drives quite a loose rear end and maybe less traction control. Great in terms of lap times. If you can hang on to it, go for it. He's obviously a very talented driver.
Yeah, often looks like his car is quite reactive, so a lot of precision on the nose, and then the rear is moving a bit, and also in acceleration coming out of 5 yesterday. He was several occasions leaving the black marks on the track and showing that the wide line there for Beckman, and showing that he's running a very low DC control. Gutierrez wide going to 15-16, and here's a battle up in the front with Perina. Look what is happening.
Yeah, so that got contact. No! Beckman's driven him off. Beckman chinked left there, I thought, and took Gutierrez off the track.
There was no need for that.
You felt the same?
Yeah, there was no need for that. Gutierrez ran wide.
Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it again. We don't know how far back the incident started. Here it is. So up the inside.
Yeah, he should have left the space.
Gutierrez leaves the space.
Yeah, he should have left the space. He just ran into the exit curve.
But he had the move done. He was on the inside for turn 17. It was unnecessary. So he leads, but I'll be honest, I think that's almost certainly going to be a penalty. I'm sorry, I don't like to call it often, but there are times when you do. This is Matthew DL. Behind him it's Burrows having a look. Earlier on we were watching, weren't we, the battle. Perino was having a look up the inside of Favre into turn 17. Oh, what a shame. I was hoping that was going to be a great battle.
Yeah, I was predicting that for the race, because sort of...
Well, they're both racy guys, aren't
and
they?
Also aggression that Beckman normally has. He doesn't give up, but maybe here it went a little bit over. Gutierrez made a series of... He went a little bit wide, 15-16, so that opened the chance for Beckman, but then the final result was not something that we wanted to see. And now Perina
is making moves, isn't he? So Perina, remember, with a 5-grid penalty from contact yesterday with it's Grinsvich that he's behind now. So he's going to try and get past Grinsvich, shows him the headlights one side. He's going very quickly indeed here. Perina is showing his class. He's got to get through quickly if he wants any chance of going with Kaminsky. And remember, he was the only driver who was on the same pace as Kaminsky yesterday. But, you know, catching isn't as easy as getting past.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, for our race in general, this is playing for Johnny Kaminsky's hands.
Yes.
He has a clear track, and he
hit a different postcode already.
He can control the pace. This is exciting to see Perina gaining those places, going left and right, and trying to look for the overtaking opportunities. Sometimes you can overtake here as well in the mix of 17. He has a very good run now to the main straight.
He's looking for it, trying to get extra exit speed. He's going to. Grinsvich has the inside line, but Perina has more speed down the straight. Grinsvich should hold on here, but with him being offline, Perina might be able to get him on the exit. Stays around the outside. It's a long way round from there. And Grinsvich just holds on.
Yeah, great fight. Obviously here Roberto is losing a lot of time. Lap times
run wide. Grinsvich makes a mistake. Sorry, Tony. And alongside, Perina gets it done. He was wide at the apex, had to wait on the throttle. When he did, the rear end came out, boom, he's through.
Yeah.
Now he's under pressure behind from Favre and also from Beaton. So Grinsvich has got to get his eyes forward now, concentrate and keep the pace up.
Yeah, there's a song, Under Pressure. Ding,
yes.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it is. Look, Favre looking inside. Grinsvich late on the brakes. Beaton is there as well, with Weisman on the back of this pack too. Got good depth here in Pirelli in terms of where we are, but out front Kaminsky is checking out. Like I said, different zip code for him. Cook's going well. Cook is going well, but Perina will try and close that gap down. We can't do the gap from the previous lap because he was still behind. Well, we can, but it's 1.3. Actually, he did cross the timing line first, so he was 1.3 off the back of Cook. So let's see how much time he takes out.
Also this 4-car group is very interesting in Pirelli. So behind Perina, Krincevic, Favre, Piton, Weisman.
It's good, isn't it? Close between those guys. We love seeing a pack of cars that are close on pace. one person makes a mistake and 3 people can capitalise. It's a horrible situation to be in. Mitchell Green. So Mitchell Green is leading Pirelli Am. So what has happened here? Mitchell Green leads Pirelli Am from Jan Bernier, Matthew Deal. Beckman is in the pits.
Yeah,
that might be from the...
Did they give...
He's back out. So
drive through, probably.
He's on... Why? No, he... Yeah,
did he get a penalty?
Did he have an issue? Because we didn't feel it was... Yeah, Beckman, we did feel it was Beckman's fault. We'll try and find out whether Beckman's been a drive-through or no.
I don't know.
I've not seen that.
Or technical issue, not sure.
Well, there was contact, obviously, but the big shame is Kevin Gutierrez, although Gutierrez, his last lap was a 2:05. So where has Gutierrez gone? His last lap was absolutely bang on the pace, and he's disappeared. Gutierrez has dropped right down the order, so we'll bring you an update on that as soon as we've got it. Meanwhile, Kaminsky has just done the fastest lap of the race with a 2:02.4. And Mitchell Green is leading. So Mitchell Green, up as the champion from Coppa Shell, is in the lead now. Trofeo Pirelli Am here.
Yeah, I just got a note from the race director, from the stewards, that stop and go and hold 15 seconds for Beckman for that contact.
Okay, so Beckman was in for a stop-go.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, good.
I wish it would have been fair. I wish it would have been fair.
I want to see a good race, and now what's happened to Gutierrez? So we'll see if we can find out where Gutierrez is. Ah, he is, he's back. So Gutierrez is in with Porter. Okay, good. Fine. So Gutierrez is still there. That will be super disappointing for him, but he can try and race back from there.
Yeah, hopefully he can get the focus back and try to do the best possible race in the remaining 20 plus minutes.
And that's assuming there isn't any damage on the caracals, but it doesn't look like it, does it? Perina still behind Cook at the moment. So Roberto Perina, he's closed the gap big time. It's down to... I said 1.3, but it's less than that. They haven't come around to the end of the lap yet, so he's still been closing it down all the way through. Well, you can see the gap. It's a 10th.
Yeah,
that's it. Maybe and now it's less.
Yeah.
Now it's half a 10th. It is, it's super close between. This is a good overtaking opportunity. So he might push Cook in tight and then dummy him off out to the left-hand side, try and get him on the exit again. This is what he did last time. So Cook is not out on the optimum racing line. He comes out plenty wide there, though, so he hasn't compromised his entry speed too much. Perina will look for a better exit. He's got a tight exit. Perina's early on the throttle. Is it going to be enough to get alongside him this time? I don't think so.
Close.
I don't think so. You say turn 1's on, Tony.
Yeah, but I would still wait. Wait until 7. Wait until 7. Oh, maybe Brian left too much space. He left space, I think.
And he's going to go through now, so Cook has left space and Perina's going to get alongside him. The next one is kink right and then the left, so Perina did manage it with a bit of pressure. Fair play to them.
Yeah, I think Brian could have defended a bit more, but he left the door open, seeing the pace that Roberto was closing, and Brian doing his own race. And now we can follow the gap between Johnny and Roberto, but obviously it's how much? 5 seconds?
4.5, but he went 0.5 quicker on the last lap, so that would be 9 laps to get him back up there, and we've got time for 10, but that would assume that Perina can take half a second out of Kaminsky on every lap, and I don't think that'll happen, because I think Kaminsky will get the hurry up now. They'll just say, well, maybe not now, but they'll look at the gap, and if it comes down to 3, let's say, they'll go, you need to push.
Yeah, let's see now if Johnny needs to pick up the pace a bit. He has been sort of saving his tires a little bit for the first 10 minutes, but Roberto, he has the momentum.
Yeah, and he's not been saving his tires.
Yeah, he's going for it.
He's not saving them now either. But that is the lead. Look, it's the length of the gap between 7 and 9. He's now up in 10 and then 11. This is Cunningham, Collier, and then up to Tower. Perina hooking tyres over the inside of the curbs here. So Roberto Perina is on an absolute mission. We'll keep an eye on that gap. It was 4.8 when he was in P3 behind Cook. Oh, wow. Gonna be good here.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting season because things are getting a little bit heated. Gutierrez, Beckman, but also some change of words on the pit lane. So we want the atmosphere to be high, but let's keep it
fun, people. It's calm down, you know.
Yeah.
If drivers make silly mistakes on circuit, that's fine. Have a word with them afterwards and make sure they don't do it again. So in the background, who's this coming under pressure? It's Weisman with Bitten behind. Yeah, it's a Weisman with Bitten behind as they come down to the end of the straight. The gap from Kaminsky to Pirelli is still 4.7. So last time round it was a 2:02.8 and a 2:02.7, so it was only a tenth in it. Bitten having a look inside, but a bit deep.
Yeah,
and now
here's
time.
a perfect example. David running a bit too deep into turn 3, and then he lost everything in the whole sequence of 3, 4, 5, and yeah, not easy task to follow other cars closely here.
DL and Burrows in the background having a fight. DL with a very cool livery, the red, white and black on there, and Burrows in behind, trying to find a way through. What's the gap to Mitchell Green and Bernier are only 1.6 seconds apart. There you can see them. In fact, Matthew DL is going with Bernier here. I saw him at lunchtime. I said, how's it going? So I've been struggling a bit, to be honest. He said, but I found some pace this morning. So Matthew DL just saying it's such a tricky heart. He also said he doesn't have time with family and business to come and do the 3 days testing. So some people come here and they test Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or whatever, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And he comes in just for the official test Friday afternoon. 3 sessions. And so that he doesn't have the same time, Tony. And we respect that. Obviously, family and business come first for lots of people.
Yeah, we love the fact that he's here.
Yeah.
But then this track highlights the thing that if you lack a little bit of confidence, you don't have enough laps,
yeah,
then you see straight away 1 lap qualifying, and you see that the race starts and how you feel with this racetrack.
It's
but then in the races you learn, you pick up the speed, and you don't focus only on what you're doing because you're focusing on the other drivers, and you just want to keep with the same rhythm with the car ahead. So then suddenly you are there, up there with the other drivers.
At the minute, of course, he's in a podium position anyway, so this would be a great result for him.
And Mitchell Green said before the race, rock and roll. So
he's on it. He's on it. Yesterday, Matthew DL yesterday was 2:05.1 was his best lap time. He finished 9th. Today, his best lap time is a 2:04.9.
But do
so
you
he's
see
got a couple
who
of tenths quicker.
Surprise, surprise, who is behind Mitchell Green?
Yeah, Jan Bernier. They've gone
17
upper category.
minutes to go.
Yeah, upper category. What was really interesting is Jan Bernier saying, let's see what these two in front of me do. Bernier has got his head really screwed on. You said that to me a bunch of times, Tony. He thinks. He leaves space. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. He's like, let's see what these two get up to and then we'll see.
Even his approach, body language, comments, just before the start. He's there, he's connected. So I like the way Jan Bernier, I said it also yesterday, I like the way he thinks and I like the way he races as well.
Yeah, me too. But wise words, wise head on his shoulders, wise words, and he was bang on the money. Yeah, he said these guys are quick, but let's see what happens.
Burrows.
Still, Burrows trying to find a way through past DL. DL has dropped off a bit now, probably because he's having to be so defensive. Burrows looks to the inside, but DL's going to hold that line, and this is pulling in Hopkins behind Hopkins now. This is a train of 3, so eyes forward. Close that gap back down to Bernier. This is the scrap for the podium, and there's 3 cars in it. Wow. Okay, so DL under pressure. That's taken the pressure off Jan Bernier just a little bit. In terms of fastest laps, 2:01.6 from Perina. Oh, and that was on his last lap. So Roberto Perina has gone 1.3 seconds quicker than Kaminsky on the last lap. So it was 3:05 the gap is down to, but there's half race distance left. We'll keep an eye on that because and Kaminsky responds by doing a 2:02.2. So he's immediately responded and almost matched that fastest lap of Roberto Perina. So impressive stuff between those two. We said, didn't we, that Kaminsky might get the hurry up if it comes under 4, and at 3.5 again he's just up the pace again. Management and managing the gap out front is another brilliant skill to have. Green and Bernier will cross the start-finish line very shortly. The gap was 1.8. Matthew DL coming under increasing pressure. Burrows goes really wide. Burrows has got a run on him here. Martin Burrows in the slipstream, pulls out to the outside. If DL is too defensive in turn 1, Burrows might be able to get him on the exit, but he can't carry speed through another car, of course. He does get a better exit, but DL holds his line. Still defensive. Every time he's defensive, he's holding his position. That's exactly what to do, of course, but behind. Now they risk Bernier getting away. Bernier to Green, the gap now is 2, so it's actually gone up. So Mitchell Green has got his head down as well. I saw him and his coach Jamie Morrow at lunch. He's going to do historic Monaco. So he's racing historic Monaco. I think he said in an old Tyrrell, which is brilliant. And yeah, shared an email that Jamie had sent him about Monaco, which was great. And I won't give you the details because it's not fair, but he read it out and he's like, yeah, this is what Jamie sent me when I told him I was going to do it. And it was Jamie being very realistic about Monaco in a historic Formula 1 car. But Mitchell is so stoked about it. He loves his motorsport, doesn't he? He just wants to drive everything.
Yeah, we mentioned a few times that he wants to drive everything. This winter, he was on a frozen leg with the 488 Ferrari Challenge, and he has a GP2 or I think GP2 single seater. So
yes, he does.
He's on track with the Formula cars as well, and with the approach and with the attitude. I'm going to show what I'm made of. Rock and roll, let's go.
He came to Anglesey in North Wales. I don't know if you've ever competed at Anglesey. It's a beautiful, stunning roller coaster track, and he drove the historic Tyrrell there.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he absolutely loved the track. They had a beautiful day, 20 Celsius early in the year, really unusual in the UK. You remember I mentioned, was at the Winter Olympics this year, and we were messaging back and forth. I said, I'm at the Fat Ice race in Montana. Bernier's closing the gap down. And he texts Jamie straight away and goes, you didn't tell me there was an ice race. So it's just like straight up, I want to be there. Like he just wants to go and do everything. Green to Bernier. The gap last time round was 2.0. You think Bernier's closed it, don't you?
It's almost the same. Let's see now the last lap.
I think 1.8. That's my guess. What is it?
206.2.
1.4. So he's taken 6/10 out of it.
Yes.
Roberto Perina's done the fastest lap again. Perina's dipped in to the 201s, 201.6, but also Kaminsky with the 201.9. So this is unreal at this point in the race to be banging in fast laps like this. Make no mistake about it, they are on the limit, aren't they here? This is a great drive for Perina. Look at the way he's moving the car around.
Yeah, he's showing the fighting spirit. Obviously, unfortunate penalty from yesterday's race, contact between these two. And he cleared the field, and now he's chasing the leader, Johnny Kaminsky. But right now, Johnny is responding quite well. Only 0.3 faster last lap for Roberto. Still a 3-second gap, but great show of the talent of these two drivers.
Kevin Gutierrez has just done his fastest lap of the race. He's fought back after that issue earlier on. He was down in last in Pirelli Am except for Beckman. He's moved up a little bit, so 2:03.7.
That's a good lap time.
Yeah, he's 1.7 behind Hopkins. But then look at the gaps, actually. Yeah, Burrows and Hopkins, there's only 0.8 and 0.3 between them. So it's worth...
still do a good direction.
Yeah, he could still, in theory, get a P4 here. Oh no, yeah, P3, because Burrows is right behind DL. So yeah, there isn't a lot in it between them. That might be becoming a bit of a train. If DL is having to defend from Burrows, we might have a bit of a train on our hands. Meanwhile, lap times 2:01.7, 2:01.7. Almost identical between the inside. Burrows looks to pass Matt DL. Can't do it, he's still there. Behind, there's Burrows. Behind Burrows.
And Gutierrez has joined.
Yes, he has. Gutierrez has dropped and has got another position. Right, Gutierrez is on the fight now. He has a look inside. Hopkins goes defensive straight away. Gutierrez comes back out to the outside. Can he get back to the podium? Because if he can, that's an incredible drive on his part. All fired up. Look at the bumps through 17 underneath the bridge. And back onto the start-finish line now. So is he going to do a decisive... When you catch another car, you want to get past them instantly. If you give them time to learn where your strong points are, it makes it harder.
Yeah, and his team for sure is on the radio saying, like, come on, we are P6 right now, and there are all the drivers ahead of you, and you can still fight for the podium place. But he needs to do a quick clear move.
He's dropped it! Drops it on the brakes.
Burrows
almost into the wall on the outside. Manages to catch it. Great job to not put it in the wall. Wow, you saw the car lock left and right, and he held onto it. Good job by Burrows, but that's immediately taken the pressure off DL, and it puts Hopkins and Gutierrez up a place. Let's take a look at that again.
Yeah, this is breaking into 3, coming out of 1. And yeah, he has a good solid line. Maybe he braked a little bit late, but he left some marks on the track as well. So
looked like the rear right locked.
Yeah,
he wasn't on the dirt. If he dropped a wheel,
he locked the wheels a bit, but did a good job not to collect other drivers and also not to hit the wall.
We've got 10 minutes remaining here. Feels like a lot's happened for only 20 minutes. Now look, pressure from Porter on Burrows. So Porter has caught up with Burrows after Burrows has had his little grass cutting extravaganza down at turn 3. What a shame for Burrows when he was going so well, but I think it does go to show how hard these guys are all trying today. Pirelli Am is wicked this year, isn't it? It's really good. Like lots of the drivers have got the pace to win races, and that's what we want. The gap's gone back up. Kaminsky is just done a 2:02.2 to a 2:03.4, 1.2 seconds quicker, and the gap at the front is up to 5.4. So Kaminsky, either Perina's made a mistake or Kaminsky is,
Yeah, I think Roberto was trying so hard for so long time. So there must have been an error, mistake, and I think the fight for the lead is done. And now Gutierrez looking for opportunities. Wide, cuts tight. Let's see if he's get a good run for the main straight.
Yeah, he's early on the throttle, isn't he? Took that wide entry in, but then you do suffer with the bump mid-corner. Still behind Hopkins at the moment. Looking for a podium place. It's Matt Deal in the red, white and black in front. 8:30 to go, so 4 or maybe 5 laps still to go. Should be 5, considering they just crossed the start-finish line.
And Gutierrez can even see the leading Mitchell Green. So with the contact and the time he lost on the back straight in the beginning with Beckman, the fight is there. He's in the group. So unfortunate.
Gutierrez was sideways there. How much has he had to use his tyres to get back to this position, Tony?
Yeah, he has tried a lot. He's tried really hard, but his fastest lap time is impressive. It's 3.7, while Mitchell Green has done a 4.5, Bernier 4.6. So that shows that the performance he has on a one lap or when he's driving alone, but he now needs to do the overtaking.
Esteban Beckman, who was involved in that incident with him, Lucas, done the fastest lap with a 2:03.2. So the 2 front row guys were the fastest drivers out there, like Bernier said, but you got to keep it together.
Yeah, Hopkins had a really tough moment breaking into 10. He ran a little bit wide line, was able to keep it on the road, but he feels the pressure from Gutierrez right now. And this group is almost catching even on the leaders. Now
they're doing a great job, aren't they?
We see Bernier in the picture now.
So although the entry is not as deep as we sometimes see, and we will see later this season, I'm absolutely certain everyone will be at Cota. You know, it's a Ferrari race this weekend with the 499P Modificato will be there. We'll have some F1 cars. It's going to be a mega weekend, it really is. If you live in Austin, Texas, you need to find a way to get out to the track because it will be a lot of fun.
I heard from Manuel a big number of cars coming also from Europe, so that will be a huge weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
For Ferrari North America.
It's a great track. Everybody wants to race F1 tracks, don't they? Gutierrez again goes for the outside line. It's a bit brave going there. Gets on the throttle early again.
Doesn't really work.
Doesn't seem to, does it? So Gutierrez tries again, and they're closing up on DL. So Hopkins is now right behind DL. 6 minutes 20 to go. Everybody is on the edge of what's left in their Pirellis.
What is the channel for the radio for Gutierrez? I have some advice.
Wait, what's the advice, Tony? Go on.
All right. First one, take it into 7. Good exit from 5, take it into 7, then we think about the rest.
Okay, so that's Tony Villander's advice. That's what's coming up next. Can he hit Tony DL?
No!
Matty DL is off,
and he's
got
run.
the advantage. So Tony Villander with his fake radio button here in commentary. DL loses places, drops down the order. Michael Porter comes through as well. Let's look at turn 7. Inside.
No.
Tries to do it. Gutierrez. Hopkins was there. Gutierrez and Tony Villander literally pressed an imaginary radio button in here in the commentary box, the announcing booth, that said, I would say go for turn 7. We think about the rest later. And then the rest dropped it in front of him anyway.
He's tight. And this is now for the podium place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
5 minutes,
a minute ago,
5.5.
it was a few places back, 5.5 minutes ago. This is not over yet at all. Take a look at the replay of Matt DL off in the background.
He lost it very early.
Is that the same place as we saw somebody drop it a minute ago?
No, Barros was earlier. It was turn 3. This was in between 3 and 5, so exit of 4. Very early, very weird spin on the rear axle.
What's the lap times here between DL and Bernier, mate? It's 2:05. Yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Gutierrez had a moment also. So the tires, the tires are falling.
Which we're not surprised about. He had an off on the first lap and ended up a long way back. So now this is where he needs to capitalise on the exit speed of 17. Every time he's got there, he's caught up with Hopkins and has had to run wide. So use your fast line now and take the exit.
Don't go wide here. Stay tight.
Yeah.
You do your normal
now
line.
Run it out wide. Go.
Good.
Come on, get it done.
This is exciting now.
It's really exciting. So he has more speed through 17, but he's not been able to use it because he's been too close. So actually the mistake has given him a chance. Closing speed again on the start-finish straight. Not enough, comes out wide for a good exit. There is a chance into 3.
Inside, go inside now.
He's going for it, he's going for it. Gutierrez will have to be late on the brakes here. Not going to be close enough, is he?
Yeah, Hopkins is defending now everywhere.
So late that apex. I've seen so many people get sucked into turn 3 early. Like you have to really wait, don't you? Here it is again. This is the point. Tony's on his fake radio again. Get it done through 6. Big bend. This is 6 here that Bernier's going to do. Bernier flashing his lights. Oi, oi. He's going after Mitchell Green.
Game on.
Yeah, so Mitchell Green on a 206.3, and it was a 205.7 for Bernier. Took 6/10 out of him on the last one. 3 minutes 46 to go. Probably a couple of laps. Oi, there's loads of dirt out on the track now. Someone's gone grass cutting and the track's filthy. Luckily, there's not much rotation in that corner. Oh, Mitchell Green, the rear, stepping out as well.
Bernier almost ran off.
Yeah, Bernier going deep. Everybody in this race is trying as hard as they can. Fantastic way to finish the weekend. I'm having a lot of fun here, and I'm not even out on track, Tony. It's great, isn't it, when it's like this? This is when we get to do the job properly.
Yeah, and it is difficult for the drivers as well. You posted one lap 2030, and now you're running 205.5, so you need to reset your braking points, everything. And if you try to brake too deep, the car just doesn't stop anymore. You don't have the grip to do it. So, yeah. So one mistake from any of the leading cars, from Mitchell to Bernier to Hopkins to Gutierrez, and you lose a place or you lose a lot of time. So yeah, two laps, we will get 2 laps, I think. Still.
Hopkins there was a little bit wide on the exit and ran across the dirt, and there is a tiny gain in speed up the straight as Gutierrez picks up his slipstream. Gutierrez now again has to get it right here. He's got great speed. Look here, that's the point where he's got more corner speed, Tony, to my eyes, but can't get it done because the...
Now he had a good one.
Yeah.
Now he's closest that he's ever been.
Don't think he's going to be close enough at turn 1 though. Look, he's just getting to the point where you'd want to have a look, and then they turn in. It's from here to 3. Look, he's gone tight on the wall. This might be the chance. Gutierrez alongside Hopkins. Not quite there. Is he going to be brave on the brakes? Not too brave, I hope. And given room, Hopkins saw him coming, went for the cutback, but Gutierrez got it done. That was about pressure, making Hopkins drive on his mirrors.
Yeah, Gutierrez had a better run through 17 for several laps. Also mid-corner at 1. Hopkins he overslows the car a bit, so that opened up several opportunities for Gutierrez. If this move had happened earlier, there would have been more pressure for Bernier and Mitchell Green. But great fight and exciting race to close the weekend.
I want one more lap. I don't think there's enough time, Tony, but I'll take it just on the off chance. Mitchell Green under pressure from his sparring partner Jan Bernier. Has Green responded on the lap times? Yes, he has. 206.6 to a 206.7. There's nothing in it between them. This was 12 and 13. Look, you can see Bernier took a lot off. The white flag is out for our leaders. So you're looking at Roberto Perina, who is 6.6 off the back of Kaminsky. So Kaminsky, after big pressure in the middle, to be fair, again, Perina has done what Gutierrez did and fought his way up through the pack. And that costs rubber.
Yeah, hard fight from Roberto Perina and also from Gutierrez. They both had to drive the whole 30 minutes like it was the last or the first lap. So great fight. I think Johnny had the chance to control the race a bit more. He gave the idea to Perina that he has more pace, but then the lap after, Johnny was able to respond. And I think highlight for Johnny obviously is the complete weekend, but today's qualifying was something really special.
Yeah, it was. He's done a fantastic job, hasn't he? He's responded. This is controlled aggression from the front for me. Yeah, really good. I don't think there was any malice between these two with the contact yesterday. It's a racing incident. I understand why they penalised Perina. You know, he's seen Kaminsky make a mistake. He had a look. Kaminsky shut the door, didn't know he was there. You know, it's one of those things. They apportioned the blame of Perina this time. I don't see that going forward as a needle match. You know, I don't think there'll be a grudge match there. But Kaminsky's just got it done. You know, he's just got it done. Pole and fastest laps. Perina's got the fastest lap in this one. So we get a bonus point for that at least, which we'll be really pleased about. And that does show us as well that Perina has got the pace to match Kaminsky. So this championship fight is absolutely not over. And with some of the guest drivers I'm sure we'll see come in, there'll be some great fights. And they're the hardest to race against because they're not doing the whole series.
Yeah, that's where you need to always be very intelligent. while you are doing the whole championship, if there is single entry driver and he has a lot of pace, you obviously fight always for the pole and win, but until a certain level. Don't put the aggression over Coppa at a moment, and that can harm your own championship. So
yeah. Over the line to take his second win this weekend, his third of the season, Johnny Kaminski gets it done. Roberto Perina, with a great fight back from the back of the pro grid, gets P2.
Gutierrez.
Oh no, Gutierrez is off! Gutierrez is off after all that work. Got taken out on the first lap after contact. Cook drops back as well. Cook's going slowly. He was in P3. So did Cook, was there a coming together somewhere out there? Bernier right with Mitchell Green. We thought they might come down to this final lap. We got the run to turn 17. It's not over yet. Grinsvich gets P3. Bad exit maybe from Mitchell Green. Bernier here looking to try and take the win in Pirelli Am. We've got our top three from Pirelli, and it is all kicking off on the final lap. He's absolutely in the slipstream. They fought tooth and nail last year. Pulls out, but Mitchell Green carries the speed deep into turn 17. Keep it tidy on the exit. Bernier might be able to race it to the line. Green winds the throttle on, winds the steering out, uses the full width of the track. Great racing from these two, moving up from Coppa Shell and proving they've got the talent. Green wins Pirelli Am. Bernier right behind him. They're back up at the front where they're used to fighting. Familiar scenes in their mirrors and in front of them. Hopkins gets P3. Cook is tumbling down the order, as is Gutierrez. We don't know what happened. We'll see if we can find some replays, but Kaminski takes the win in Pirelli, and Mitchell Green takes it in Pirelli Am.
yeah, last lap drama in Pirelli and also Pirelli Am. So here we see Brian Cook not saying
damage?
again
I
that
can't see anything. Can you really?
hopefully not running out of fuel. I tried to propose that earlier.
Yes, you did.
But it can't be. So the technical issue, something is wrong, and he lost the drive. He lost the speed on the last lap.
Shame for him. He will come round to take the finish, but Kaminski, double winner. Look, he's got the P1 fingers put on both sides, and that's what you do when you get a clean sweep, and now he's got the finger out the window too. It's been a great job. He's only missed 1 point this weekend, and that's the fastest lap in this race. Tony Villander has to go to the podium. A pleasure, mate.
Thank you
always.
very much.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
And safe travels, my friend.
And you, mate. I'll see you at Kota. Looking forward to it. So Tony Villander heading off as one of our... He's a dignitary today. He's on the list of dignitaries. He's a lovely man, but he's definitely not a dignitary. He's laughing. He's heading across to hand out the trophies. Actually, I think to Trofeo Pirelli. So yeah, go tell those drivers how much we enjoyed it, mate. Safe journey home. So Tony Villander leaves the announcing booth, and I'm sitting here marvelling at what a great time we've had over the last few minutes. The last half hour, green flag, lights to flag, both races today, Coppa Shell and Trofeo Pirelli, at one of the trickiest circuits in America, and Gutierrez didn't make the finish. What a shame. What a shame after what happened on the first lap. Let me know how it is over there, Tony. I'll see you soon. So Tony Villander has just stepped out the door. Yeah, just a brilliant fight between it. Everybody was trying so hard to have so many drivers on the limit for so much of this race, and get a green flag the whole way through is fantastic. Good job, guys. Good job. There is the bridge out the track. Some people will be heading home now. Not these guys, of course. They're going to be heading to the podium. Stick around if you'd like to see those. All the drivers being told to slow down, and the top three being sent off to the right, so they go to Park Ferme, which is actually just out the front of the 7 Hotel, because that's where Casa Ferrari is, and the podium is built right in front of Casa Ferrari on the outside of turn 7 as well. Mitchell Green waving out the window, I think, at Jan Bernier behind him. Brilliant stuff. Kaminski takes his second win of the weekend, his third one of the season, from Roberto Perina, who fought back from the back of the pro grid into P2. Grinsvich dropped a few places and then got him back right at the end of this one. Great to see him up on the podium. Falbra, Weisman and Bitton are your top 6. Mitchell Green and Jan Bernier separated by less than 0.4 of a second at the end of the race. Great to see them back on top again. Hopkins and then Porter. Hopkins gets P3. Porter, DL unlucky, the spin so close to the end. Martin Burrows, Esteban Beckman with contact early in the race, got a drive-through penalty. Brian Cook with some sort of an issue on the last lap that dropped him down the order. A great shame to see Gutierrez spin off, and Jay Logan in P16 with just a couple of laps on the board. Should have had the drivers going to a loop-the-loop or something, really, shouldn't we? As some sort of a celebration here with the US Air Force Base right next door. Up and over the bridge. This takes them out, as I say, to the 7 Hotel. And they were just screaming underneath that only very short few moments ago. The Fayet Bridge being led back on the moped. Look, moped rider checking the texts as well on the way in. Make sure he's got all the information we need for the podiums. Pretty sure I saw 2 very senior members of Ferrari Motorsport USA ripping along on the mopeds earlier. Matt Dusenbury and Manuel Marchi, not sure. I think they were heading to the paddock because you have to sort of head out towards the front gate and then off towards the paddock. We're over in that paddock behind the picture there. TV compound is over there. And here they go, look, through the one-way system and across. I mean, it might have been a sneaky selfie from the moped rider there, the scooter rider at the front. So they'll turn right and then left, and this takes them into back of house at Casa Ferrari. The circuit entrance is behind you there with the giant Ferrari Prancing Horse logo. You can't help but be impressed with the branding when you arrive at these events. You know exactly who you're coming to work with, who you're coming to race with. And it is a lot of fun. There they go, look. Into the left and then into the right. Behind them, Mitchell Green, Jan Bernier. And Hopkins as well. All the golf buggies parked up. That's how everybody's getting across from the paddock to over here. And they roll into the barriers. Johnny Kaminsky up to the front. Rounds of applause there, and they're telling him where to stop the car. There's his dad opening the door. Pretty sure it's Brian, hard to tell from the drone. Next in, Roberto Perina, good drive to get back to there, and George Grinsvich, say, with P3. Nina Jade's down there with the camera already. We'll get a look in with these drivers soon. Mitchell Green pulls in. Johnny pulls out the comms cable. 3 wins this season, done the double here at Sebring International Raceway. Good job. There is his dad, Brian. Tunes are playing. Podium awaits. Good job, Johnny Kaminsky. Say, only missing out on 1 point this weekend. That is outrageous. Hugs all round. Lovely to see. And they stick his comms lead up on top of the lid with a bit of Velcro. Now he can get the helmet off and get ready to talk to Nina Jade. Freaky fast. He certainly is proving to be that this season. George Grinsvich this side taking his crash helmet off. Manuel Marchi in the middle of the cars there as well with Nina Jade. There's Mitchell Green. Yeah, he's happy. He said, let's rock and roll. Jamie Morrow, his driver coach there on the left in the T-shirt. I gotta go on the roof again. I gotta go on the roof again, he says. Come on, lad. He's going on the roof. Yeah, Mitchell Green knows how to celebrate. Up on the roof of his 296 Challenge car. That's how we do it. Yes, well done. Good job those panels pop back in nicely, isn't it? Great to see him and Bernier. Obviously, you can control from the front to a certain extent whether Bernier was closing him down. I mean, Bernier did, yeah, he took a second off him on that last lap. But their fast laps were very close together. Yeah, whether it's management or mistakes, who knows? We'll find out. But one man who did a brilliant job, certainly in this one, just edging away at the end of the race when he really needed to. Johnny Kaminsky, 2. Done a clean sweep here of the wins, and it's 3 this season.
Johnny, 3rd win this season, double win this weekend. A nice straightforward race for you, which I know that's what you wanted. Talk us through that.
Yeah, it was an amazing race and a great weekend to end it off. And this is the weekend that you dream of. And yeah, I couldn't have done it without my team, Jimmy Johns and Ferrari. But I woke up this morning and it just felt like a great day. Once I put my helmet on, I dominated in qualifying and I ran my race. And, you know, different weather conditions, it got a lot hotter, and we had to adapt, and it was a great experience to gain, so I'm super fortunate, and let's go.
Let's go. Johnny, momentum's on your side now. How confident are you heading into COTA?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old headspace going into every weekend. Just got to run my race, do the best that I can, and yeah, it's a championship lead feels really nice.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
17 years old and with a very wise head on his shoulders, and that, as Tony Villander was saying earlier on, is probably the biggest difference between Johnny Kaminsky last year and this year. Not coming in and saying, oh, you know, what am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about that? Instead, coming in and going, what is my plan? Make the plan, execute the plan, and that is what he's done this weekend to great effect. 2 poles, 2 wins, 1 fastest lap. Absolutely fantastic. Super slow-mo of Kaminsky coming through the final corner, turn 17 here at Sebring. What a drive. What 2 drives. Mitchell Green now with Nina Jade. It's his first win after moving up, and the champion, of course, is Coppa Shell, now in Pirelli Am.
Mitchell Green, you told me rock and roll, baby, before the race, and that's exactly what you did. Talk us through that race.
Oh, it was... I had a feeling that the first couple guys are going to have a little... I thought there would be a chance of some incidents because Esteban's got faster pace, and I thought he'd try to be aggressive, and that's what happened. And then and I knew he was when he got hit, he got the penalty. But then I knew I had Mr. Steady Eddie Jan behind me, so I could make no mistakes the entire race. That was like way more stressful than yesterday, but it was good.
You put on a great show, you and Jan. I mean, what was the pressure like handling that?
It was just not making mistakes. It was just going out and drive, turn by turn by turn, knowing exactly what I need to do, back up my brake points a bit. And then the last turn, 14 was it on the last lap, Brian Cook had obviously car issues, and so I had to let up. Jan caught into me, but then he was just like, look, we're trying not to hit each other. So it was good. It was fun.
Well, congratulations being back on the top step.
On attack, baby. Thanks.
There we go. That shows why the gap then closed up at the end. We saw Brian Cook on a go slow, and Mitchell must have caught him at just the wrong moment, lost a bit of time, and that put Bernier right on his tail. But did well, I would say, kept everything together, and did exactly what Tony Villander was saying earlier about, you know, back up those braking points. You don't have the rubber to continue absolutely on the limit. And yeah, job well done by both the winners today. Take a look at the championship standings. In the Pirelli standings, Johnny Kaminsky looked 26 points up the road already. Brad Falver in P2. Perina moves up 1 place. Brian Cook moves down 1. Then it's Grinsvich, Weisman, Franco, and Gray Falver are your top 8 there. What a weekend for Kaminsky. Look, 26 points is fantastic. Let me see what the points are for a win. You got Bitton and Kyle Washington. I think it's 35. It is 35 for a win, so he's only 10 points off being a win clear. That's where you really want to be as a championship leader, because at that point you can have a retirement and still hold the championship lead. But he won't be thinking about retirement. He's just thinking about winning at the minute and being out front, and he'll hope to do the same at the Circuit of the Americas next up in about 4 weeks' time. Mitchell Green leads the championship from Jan Bernier. Just 4 points in between them. It's deja vu, isn't it? But in a different colour. They've moved up from Coppa Shell into Trofeo Pirelli Am, and rightly so with the performances we're seeing here. Gutierrez, despite not having a brilliant day today, has ended up a little way further down the order, and then we head down onto page 2. Some of the drivers are only the first round at Thermal. Very, very competitive in both of those categories. Here's Mitchell Green coming through, leaning hard. Look at that rear left Pirelli. You can see as it goes through the compression, just rolling the tyre wall off at the bottom, just off the edge of those stunning looking rims. Absolutely leaning on it and using every last ounce of performance. Fantastic stuff. What a weekend. That's it then, cars are in parc fermé. We're waiting for podiums, hopefully won't be too long. You can hear cars back out on track again already. We have different sessions here. Corsa Pilota, Track Attack, and people heading out in GT3 cars. Lots of drivers practicing in between sessions in other cars. So it's a great opportunity to get some track time in at somewhere as challenging as this. There won't be quite so much opportunity at COTA, I say, when we've got all the toys there. Ferrari Racing Days is a mega event, it really is. We had it at Miami last year at the Grand Prix circuit there, the Formula 1 track. But I think I'm more excited about seeing it at COTA. It is a wide open track where you can make a little mistake or two and get away with it. And that means that we tend to see things like the classic F1 cars used a little bit harder, because you know you're not going to bin it if you make a mistake. So join us for the broadcasts there, definitely. It'll be a fun one. The date for that is the 16th and 17th of May. If you want to mark your diaries. cars being removed now from Parc Fermé. Sometimes they'll be scrutineered, so they'll be sent off to the scrutineering bay just to check that everything's legal. Obviously, it's a one-make championship, so everything on the cars should be exactly the same, other than some of your settings and tyre pressures and things. Everything getting reversed out now. Drivers will be making their way through the 7 hotel now to the other side, where the podium is. Is anyone going to jump in the pool? You know, it's all I want is just somebody to jump in the pool. I'm not in charge here, but I can make suggestions. We've made those suggestions. Let's see what happens. That's my kind of transport. Sadly, I won't be on the PJ. I will be on the 3-hour trip to MIA International and the overnight flight back to London. Tony Villander will be back to Finland soon. Nina Jade will be joining me on the flight home today. And we'll all be back over here again, say for Ferrari Racing Days at Cota in mid-May. I could jump in one of those. I'm not sure how comfortable I am in it. I've flown prop plane, not flown, I've flown in a prop plane a few times. Who's in that? Do you reckon that's one of our drivers? It could be, you know. I need a PJ. We're going to have a conversation, Ferrari. You know, look at that. That's how you should travel, isn't it? That's how you travel. So look at that one in the background. That'll do. A big one. Well, the private jets are heading off, but don't you head off anywhere just yet, because we have the podiums coming up very shortly. We're gathering up the drivers. We're grabbing some bottles of champagne. We're fueling up the fire, and it's going to be good fun. So podiums coming up very shortly indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium presentation for the second round of Ferrari Challenge North America from Sebring International Raceway. Delighted to have you all along, as always, and we're ready to get started and bring out our first winners of today. Let's start then with the presentation for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli class. In P3, George Krinsvich. In second place with a great fight back, Roberto Perina. But a double winner this weekend with an outstanding performance, Johnny Kaminsky. Let's please now remove our hats for the winner's national anthem. To present the trophies, please welcome my very good friend Tony Velander to the stage, Ferrari ambassador, and also the president of the Finnish Motorsport Association. Double honours up there for the drivers. Tony been brilliant in the announcing booth this weekend. George Krinsvich and Roberto Perina with their trophies, and a second P1 trophy for Johnny Kaminsky. We'd also like to invite Lucio Vajani, Pirelli Motorsport Manager from our partners at Pirelli, to present the Pirelli Award to our winner, Johnny Kaminsky. Please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Long Island to accept the Trofeo Pirelli Team Award, once again presented by Tony Velander, Ferrari Ambassador. Congratulations everyone today, get those trophies held up high. And one last time for you. Get them down. It is time for the champagne. Congratulations. Fantastic work from everyone in Trofeo Pirelli. Next up, let's invite the winners for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli AM class, please. In third place, Gregory Hopkins. In second place, by a very tight margin, Jan Bernier. And the winner after a decent scrap with his mate from last season, Mitchell Green. First win for Mitchell Green, having moved up to Trofeo Pirelli AM. Let's get our hats off, please, ladies and gentlemen, for the winner's national anthem. To present the trophies to our winners, please welcome Jimmy Anzuto, Director of Sebring International Raceway. What a fantastic place to go racing as well. Everybody on this podium thoroughly deserving of their trophies. We've had amazing racing today. We'd like to invite Lucio Vajani, Pirelli Motorsport Manager from our partners at Pirelli, to present the Pirelli Award to our winner. And now, please, let's welcome a representative from Ferrari of Westlake to accept the Trofeo Pirelli AM Team Award. Once again presented by Jimmy Anzuto, Director of Sebring International Raceway. Congratulations, everybody. Get those trophies up high for the photos, please. Big smiles. And now trophies down. It is time for the champagne! Next up, we're going to invite our podium for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Coppa Shell winners to join us. So give it up. In third place, Charlie Menard. 2 P3s this weekend for Charlie. Good job. In P2, Kevin Orsini. And your winner today, after his first ever pole, he takes his first ever win, Andrew Parker. Great job out front. Got the conversion done. Give it up for our Gentleman's Cup winner, Gary Ott. Please now then remove your hats for the winner's national anthem. We'd like to introduce Paul Bird, Sebring International Raceway, to present the trophies to our winners. I'd also like to note that our winner has an ice cream up there. It's an important thing to note because he's got ice creams all over his car. Well done, Andrew. That's how we roll here. Charlie Menard and Kevin Orsini picking up their trophies, and now I think the ice cream's going to have to go down because it's winner's trophy for Andrew Parker. First time ever. Congratulations, Andrew. Please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Naples to accept the Coppa Shell Team Award, once again presented by Paul Bird, Sebring International Raceway. Gary Ott, of course, picking up the Gentleman's Cup trophy as well. Trophies held high then, please. Big smiles. Trophies down. It is time for the champagne! Finally then, let's welcome to the stage our podium for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Coppa Shell AM. In third place, Lance Corley. In second place, give it up for Jamie Garrett. Brilliant result for Jamie. After a fantastic qualifying this morning, converted it into P2. But the double winner in the Shell Am category this weekend, Melissa Kozira on the top step of the podium. We don't know if it's a fact, but we're calling it the first ever female 1-2 in Ferrari Challenge. Great job by the ladies. Who run the world? Girls. Great job. The Gentleman's Cup winner, Lance Corley, is of course already on the stage, and the Ladies' Cup winner, Melissa Kozira, as well. So please now remove your hats for our winner's national anthem. Now please welcome Manuel Marchi, Motorsports Manager for Ferrari North America, to present the trophies to our winners. P3 for Lance Corley. P2 Jamie Garrett. And of course our winner Melissa Kozira. What a brilliant, brilliant podium. Fantastic to see. And now of course we have the ladies and the gentlemen's cups as well. Also going to two of our podium. Ladies' Cup there to Melissa Kozira. Yeah, that's right. Applause, everybody, please. It's a fantastic result in this sport. Look how pleased Lance Corley is as well. All smiles. Great to see. Lastly, please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Naples to accept the Coppa Shell Am Team Award, once again presented by Manuel Marchi. Congratulations, everybody. Get the trophies held high. One last photo here at the awesome Sebring International Raceway. And then time for one last champagne fight. Get the trophies down. Let's go with the champagne. Fantastic weekend here at Sebring International Raceway. Next up, we take our fantastic Ferrari Challenge Caravan all the way across to Austin, Texas, and the Circuit of the Americas. It will be a Ferrari race this weekend, so expect the 499P Monica Carter, some wonderful F1 machinery out on track as well. There you go, the first 1-2 for women in the Ferrari Challenge North America, certainly maybe in the world, having a well-earned drink. Fantastic job by all our drivers this weekend. We hope you've enjoyed watching, whether you're here at the track or online, and we will see you May 16th and 17th, Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. Goodbye for now.